So yeah, we are online. So I give to Greg because that's his part here.
Greetings from the great state of Texas, and good to speak to all of y'all people around the world. We have with us the great Cub, Texas, and we also have Cat Claw of Cat Claw Entertainment. And
Hi.
later we might be having a special drop-in appearance by a mysterious British guest.
You mean an annoying appearance?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, but what's about here keeping the stream chick free and British free?
Well,
That
what can you do?
yeah.
Variety is the spice of life, right?
No, it isn't. I'm German, you know that. We don't
Oh, that's
we hate
right.
we hate variety. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, so yes, welcome everybody. And yeah, and I give back to Greg again. I'm too lazy.
Okay, so let's say hi to Cat Claw before we begin.
Yeah, hi Kat.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Nice you could make it today.
Yeah, I'm
Well, it's
glad to
So
always
be
good
here.
to have her along.
yeah,
And
we have so much to talk about, so we can meet every man, even women.
right? It's good to have diversity of opinion. That's the thing. The modern woke culture loves diversity, but they don't like diversity of opinion. So that's crazy, you know. I like to have all different opinions and
Yeah,
argue it out or don't. Just depends on how you feel. I prefer to laugh at stuff. Yeah, that's
Oh
just
yeah.
me. I always try to find the positive, but I can go negative. You almost have to if you're streaming with Cub.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so I've got our list here that we went over beforehand, and Cub is provided, and we've added some stuff of our own. Hopefully, Kat's going to come up with her own cat corner stuff soon, uh, and we'll be able to discuss that. So anytime you get something that you want to talk about, Cat, just toss it in, and we'll do your own little segment. But
Okay.
first on the list is one that I haven't seen called Severance. I think Cub's going to be covering it in one of his future videos.
uh, no, not really. Not in a video. It's the one that Jess wanted us to watch. Can't you remember?
Um,
In one of his streams, he said it's a good show. It's a tip from Jess.
which yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, and Kat, could you take a look?
Which one? Severance? I didn't
Severance.
get to
Yeah.
see it. I
Yeah,
didn't get to see
Cat.
it.
Yeah.
Let's
No.
just talk. Let's just throw it to her right now at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. It's no problem because the show is at the end. There's just one episode left from the 9 episodes, and I watched 8 of them. And it has a very interesting premise. It is there's a company. It plays nowadays, but there's a company in the US that you can separate your work life from your private life with an with a brain operation with a, with a brain surgery. Uh,
Right? Okay. So that sounds highly dangerous.
yes, it is,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. It's a very good, well made show. It's really entertaining and you can.
Do you
It's
know
in.
which streaming service it's on?
No, I have no clue. I just watch these things from I don't know where I get them.
That's true. People send you stuff on DVD or whatnot,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
probably. Yeah, and the thing is, there, of course, this causes problems because the the outside life, they call it, I think, outies and innies. The outside life doesn't know anything about the work life. There's two different persons. And the work life, the innies, they just work the whole time. So when work is finished for a day and they want to go home, then they go to the elevator, and in the elevator it opens, and when it closes, and when it opens again, they're again at work. No time goes by for them.
Oh God! So they have constant work, and that's all they do.
Yeah, it's all they do, and
that's kind of like your life, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like my life, exactly. I was really asking myself, where's the problem here? Yeah, and it's the interesting thing is we have no clue what is going on, because the work that they are doing seems stupid. They are searching for unusual numbers in a code, but these are just regular numbers, and something unusual happens to them when they look at them. They explain it kind of that, but it doesn't really. And there are many departments, many people are working there, and some of them, yeah. But I don't want to spoil the whole thing, since I was the only one who has watched it.
I see it's on Apple TV, which one of the services we don't get.
Yeah, and of course this causes problems on the outside. There are people protesting against this thing.
Why are they protesting?
Yeah, because they say that the people are kind of brainwashed who make that, and have no free will anymore, something like that. And it is true, because some of the workers don't want to work there anymore. But for example, the woman tries to escape, but the outside version of her tells her there is no way to go to escape. She has to work.
So the party girl doesn't want the working girl to quit because she's supporting her habits.
Yeah, something like that. And we don't exactly know. We get it from every episode. We get a little bit more from what is going on and outside. But still, I'm with the last 8 episode, and there is just 1 episode left. And of course, they try now. A group of them tries to escape, and it is really about that. So they are still trying to escape. So I think I have told enough from the show. If somebody is interested, it's really well made. I have to say, it's
a rare recommendation from Cub, so I'm shocked. Basically, though, that's how I tried to live my life. I would go to work, and I would almost never associate socially with the people I worked with. I honestly, I had my life, and then I had my work, and the two is like George Costanza. I didn't want worlds to collide.
Yeah, it's
Cub cannot win, so it's Dr. Bollocks, I think.
Yeah,
you guessed correctly, OG. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, as I said, magic. Normally, I
always call him Doc.
To keep this stream cool, and now we have to put at least.
Well, you leaving, are you, Cub?
No, it got too popular, and it just got too entertaining, and so we have now this order that we have to put at least 1 Brit in the stream. So yeah, welcome, magic.
Hey, anything to bring a little bit of subtlety to the crew, eh, Tub?
Yeah, but I'm wondering how can it be that you have the time to join us? You never have time in last months.
I'm very, very busy man. You know that, don't you? I'm in the middle of world conquest as we speak.
Yeah, I know. He's counting money the whole time. Money from other people, by the way.
That's good. That's why it takes me so long. There's a lot of other people to count money from. That's why.
Yeah. So, and I told you this is not work. We call it theft, here in Germany.
Ah, well, you call it that. I carry on calling it, a livelihood, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, Magic. We have watched many things here on the stream, and I don't know if you have seen any of it. Have you seen here? What was the thing we were talking about, Greg? Severance, the TV series.
I have not. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I'm the only one anyway.
That works out because Cub's the only one who saw it anyway.
Yeah,
that's good. I was hoping to give I was going to give it an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, but it deserves that. Really, it's very good.
He gave it a recommendation, which almost never happens. So
yeah,
now I'm worried.
Can we back up there for a second? I could have sworn Cub actually gave a glowing review to something.
He did. I was shocked.
Is it possible?
Yeah, and that's why I don't make a review on it, because it would be a positive one, and I hate those. You know that.
Oh, we're gonna have to change your name to Oliver Harper then, wouldn't we? Because that's all he ever does. Everything he reviews is brilliant.
Yeah, kind of. It's really no. I think there was one movie where he made a rant. I was so surprised, shocked. I was shocked.
A rant? You mean he argued with himself about how much he liked it? That's the only thing he ever does. He doesn't do anything critical.
No. As I said, I was completely surprised when there was really one movie he rented, and I was so shocked to hear something critical about a movie that I completely forgot which movie that was. But I can remember that that it happened. One of these videos.
Right. So, what is the normal format on a Sunday now? Is it you talk about a particular show or film that nobody else has seen except you, and then keep it going for about 3.5 hours until your German trolls turn up?
Yeah, something like that. No, but we have watched the most things on. We have made a list, and everybody got the list, Greg and Kat, and so I'm pretty sure not many movies or series we talk about, I'm the only one who watched it. So
that's what Cub thinks anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I would say, yeah,
so far he's 0 for 1.
Yeah, we can go on with Greg if you like to.
And if you want to throw in something that maybe we've seen, you can pick an old movie that or something we've probably seen, or something brand new. Usually this is a bunch of brand new stuff, with occasionally we'll throw in some older stuff.
Yeah, but
the next
crack on with the newer stuff, OG, because I'm fascinated to hear from people that I consider to be fairly normal, who have watched modern TV or cinema, to see if they can actually find anything that's actually worth anybody's time at the moment.
Yeah, that I usually try to find something new and something old that are worth watching. I don't come on here just to criticize everything. I try to throw out something that, hey, maybe you haven't seen this. An obscure movie that maybe people haven't seen and they might give it a chance. The next one on the list, Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Has anybody seen it besides me?
What, Nicolas Cage has done a new film?
And it looks good.
Yeah, I was shocked. Normally he doesn't make so many movies, but...
Did you get a chance to see it, Kat?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. My computer glitched, and I'm planning on watching it at the movies this week. I've seen the trailer, and I can certainly discuss it.
What, this is not an Amazon Prime film? This is what it sounds like.
No, this is out at the movies, and it looks like maybe Nick Cage's best movie in a long time. He's playing himself in this.
Yeah, it's kind of like
JCVD.
Yeah,
JCVD. Is that what you're trying to
say?
Yes. It's kind of like something
but
like
better.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, you've seen it.
I've seen it.
And you're negative.
No, I'm not. This is another recommendation.
Which cinema did you watch it in, Cub?
No, I got a private screening from Nicolas Cage personally because he's so
wow.
broke. For $50, he comes over and watches the movie with you.
It's very kind of him to record it in that cinema he was watching it in for you.
Yeah, but no, but like here, right, like with Bruce Willis, he also comes sometimes over for a cup of tea or coffee or something like that.
I hate to be the one to break it to you, Cub. I think that might be coming to a sad end.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be popping by anymore.
Yeah, Bruce
Oh,
Willis.
he'll have more time, and
Bruce
now his mental ability is equal to Cub.
Yeah, but
well, he can certainly understand the German language, can he?
Right?
Yeah,
and he thinks euros are real money. So Cub just hands him Monopoly money now.
yeah, the thing with
It's
Bruce
the
Willis,
same.
we are going to talk about him maybe in the future because he got ill. It seems like after he got vaccinated, and
Oh wow.
yeah, that's the thing. And of course, they keep it secret. They don't say it openly, but it is kind of like an open secret. And he is the most prominent, or what you call it.
Prominent, yes.
Yeah, a person that got that. After Eric Clapton, he had also problems after his vaccination, but he didn't. But he didn't suffer from it so much like Bruce Willis. So yeah, this thing could be really in the future make waves. I'm just saying.
Mm.
I hadn't made that
Are we streaming?
connection.
Are we streaming on Odyssey for you to say that? That was rather brave.
Oh,
Huh?
he talked. Cub,
Yeah,
Cub,
I could have sworn
Cub
we
is
might have been on
unafraid.
YouTube for a few moments, but I think
Now we're on
he's,
YouTube.
right, I think that. Well, thank you very much, Susan, for housing us for the last couple of years. We'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. So for here the unbearable weight of talent, with massive talent, it is Nicolas Cage is broke in that movie, so like in real life, and so he had to do he had to go to visit somebody, a birthday party or something like that, for $1 million or something like that. Is this? I'm not really sure if that's the guy here, his fan, where he goes over. And
His fan is played by the guy from The Mandalorian, I believe, Pedro Pascal, and he offers him $1 million to show up at his birthday party.
yes, okay, then it is the guy, and so he shows up, and then he's this Mandalorian guy. He's a huge fan of Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah,
yes.
he's got life-size replicas in wax of Cage from his movie.
Yeah, and they have the main plot is kind of the friendship between those both. They because he has made a script, and he wants Nicolas Cage to take a look at it and maybe play in it or whatever. And of course, Nicolas Cage at first he was not a fan of this whole thing, but they become friends during this story. But they have a second plot, which is the FBI or CIA or whatever suspects this Mandalorian guy, a drug dealer who has kidnapped the daughter of a politician, of a president or something like that.
Did you say Mandalorian guy?
Yeah,
Pedro Pascal.
What, baby Yoda?
No, his buddy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, but the girl was kidnapped, and so they think that this Pedro Pascal guy is the kidnapper. So they arrange it that they want Nicolas Cage to spy for them. And they tell him, because Nicolas Cage is separated from his wife and his daughter, and they are kind of the same age. The daughter from Nicolas Cage and this daughter that is 16 or something like that, that got abducted, and so they want him to spy on him, and he even does that because he thinks they can convince him that his new friend, is a drug dealer and a weapon dealer. Yeah, but I don't know if nobody has seen the movie. I don't want to go any further with spoilers. So because it's a good one. It's not
Hey,
as
so
good
is
as
that
John.
3 in a row that Cub has recommended, or am I going crazy? That's impossible.
Yeah, it is not as good as Jean-Claude Van Damme because I think,
really?
yeah, I think that the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing is from a better director, and also it's not a comedy. The Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Does it have a does it have a nice happy ending like 9mm did?
Yeah, no.
I'm struggling to think of any sort of Nicolas Cage films I've seen in like the last 20 years.
Okay, so let's go back to Nick Cage comedy movie. Like, what was it? Chasing Arizona and Raising Arizona. That was it.
Arizona, yeah. When was that?
This guy,
Yeah.
He had some comedy chops, and he hasn't been utilized for that in a long time. I would really like to see how he does comedy as a more adult, an actor who's grown into, his talents. So he was pretty good at comedy back then, but for whatever reason, he hadn't been utilized in that fashion. And I'm really looking forward to it. Without having seen it, I've seen enough to think I'm probably going to like it.
Yeah,
even though Cub recommended it.
Yeah, there's another thing that he never was fully utilized, and I would have loved to have seen his take on Superman. With the sadly abandoned Superman Lives, I would have loved to have seen that. How much of a disaster that would have been.
Yeah,
I saw the special on that. It would have been awesome.
Oh, it would have been spectacular, but I would have loved to have seen it.
Yeah, as I said, the problem with this movie is this second plot, as I told you here, with the CIA, FBI, whatever, and that Nicolas Cage is working for them. It's very unbelievable, this second plot. And of course, you get, thanks to that, you get crazy situations, but it's really weak at this plot. And also
because we know the CIA is all good guys and they're looking out for our best interest.
Yeah, it's really so unbelievable. So and as I said, they for me personally, it didn't really work well. But besides that, that drags the movie a little bit down. But the other plot here, the friendship between these two, works very well, and it's very funny because he's a super fan, and it turns out that he has many things with Nicolas Cage in common, and it's kind of sweet to see that.
Wow!
But
Cub said sweet.
Yeah, but now again, because it is a comedy, the comedic aspects sometimes destroy a little bit the tone, because I think
How long has it been since you recommended any comedy, though? I mean, it's a shock. I mean, if they actually are able to do some kind of comedy that I laugh at, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah, and when I say I recommend it, I don't mean that I like the movie so much that I put it in my collection. It's far away from the classics from Nicolas Cage, like Rising Arizona or something like that. But it is not a bad movie. It is, and for nowadays, this is you know that when a movie doesn't completely drag you down, or you don't want to kill yourself the whole time during watching it, this is kind of a recommendation.
Yeah, so we're on a roll.
You've watched a film that you like, but you're not going to recommend.
No, I say it's not that good that I would collect it or rewatch it the whole time or something like that, like I do with other movies.
I don't quite think you've made it to the German Siskel and Ebert here, have you, Cub? The whole idea is that you and OG could possibly give like a a score out of 10, but yours is this is the funniest movie I've seen in many years. That's why I'm giving it 0 out of 10. It's not you're sort of confusing your audience a bit there, aren't you?
That's true.
Yeah.
Normally we go one way and the other on this, like Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah, for example, this TV series here, which we talked about, Severance. This is a thing I can see maybe even in my collection because it's so well made and very interesting, and I'm really excited how this last episode goes on. What is going on in that?
So, translation somewhat boring.
Huh? What?
No, I didn't say anything. I think that was Kat.
Yeah,
No.
probably. Yeah, you can't get a word in when she's on the stream. I see. No, she's our nerd. Yeah, our from the other stream. Yeah. So yeah. But as I said, it is worth a watch. I'm pretty sure there are people who will like it, really like it. But as I said, when it comes to comedies, it's really not my thing. But besides that, still, I would recommend it. I would say, yeah, watch it. It's not a waste of time, like so many other movies are.
All right, so that's a semi recommendation from Cub, which is he says it's not a waste of time, like so many other movies. So that's a glowing.
You basically got a thumb halfway up there,
right? That counts with Cub, especially after he already gave a recommendation previously. So that thumb is almost broken.
Yeah.
Okay, so this time it's one I know we've all seen. It's Moon Knight.
Oh my God.
So we're going to start with Kat this time, who hasn't been able to say anything. And we're going to see, I know you got a chance to see Moon Knight, right, Kat?
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
watched all 4 episodes that were on there.
Sweet.
Well, I watched this on Disney Plus, and when I got the title, I was like, okay, it's a new movie. I didn't pay attention, and I noticed that it's Marvel. And I was like, oh, okay. Which I have read comic books in the past, but I haven't read any, or this one at all. So I had no basis for comparison. But I watched it, and for not knowing anything about what the comics are about or anything, it's watchable. For me, it was watchable. It's about this guy, and he's got dissociative identity disorder, which is multiple personalities. And it was kind of hard to understand at first because he was talking to himself in the mirror and things like that. But once you figure it all out, it's like, oh, okay. That was confusing for a while. Other than that, it's about him, and it shows how, because you see him killing all these people, but not seeing him. This movie's so confusing with how to tell about it, because it switches back and forth all the time. And this one guy, what is his name? Arthur Harrow. Yeah, he's an evil deity type. I guess he's what do they call it? Avatar is what he is, and he's a person, but he's an avatar to a god. And so is this Moon Knight. There's several of them. I think there's 9. I remember. I think he said 9. And yeah, it was just very confusing. I think if I would have ever heard of the comic book or read it before, this probably would have made more sense to me, But maybe again, it wouldn't, because I don't know if they're the same or different.
Yeah, it's the guy from Gattaca here.
His
Ethan
girlfriend's
Hawke.
in it.
Yeah.
He's married. Yeah, Ethan Hawke. I didn't even recognize who he was at first, and I realized, oh, yeah. I don't know. I didn't it was watchable, but it was very confusing sometimes. It took me a while to figure it out. Some stuff. There was a lot of action in it. That was one of the decent things I did like about it, because then it was nice like that. But other than that, I didn't. I mean, it's watchable, but I just was really confused. I'll have to keep watching it because it's only on the 4th episode. So yeah, I don't know. If this makes sense, I've watched. It kind of gave me some vibes of like what's that other Marvel character? It's not it's what's his name? Not Doctor Strange. They actually had a TV series about it, and he's a Marvel character. He does things with his mind, stuff like that. The way that they sequenced this with the back and forth shots, it kind of reminded me of that. If I can remember what that was. I hate that.
Yeah, which one was it, Greg? Do you know which one she means?
He's got big long hair, looks like a racer type hair. They had a show. I think it was on was it One USA? Can't remember the channel even, because it's been about 2 or 3 years ago that they had. He does things with his mind. It's basically the powers he has. It's like what can't he do? He can do anything with his mind. He's Professor X's son, I believe.
Okay, you mean an animated series?
No, this was on TV. I'm not sure. It was an actual live action series, like real people. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. And it's the way that they switch scenes in this series reminds me of that. It's just very confusing. I thought by the time the 4th episode came around, I was kind of glad it was over, because it started out okay, but like I said, it's watchable. I just found it confusing because I didn't know anything about the other stuff. Really, no good action in it.
Yes, and Greg, you have seen it too, or not? Oh, Greg. Okay, Magic. Do you have seen it too?
No, I have not seen this program. I must admit is that I have not watched anything Marvel related for quite some time. As I am not really, never have been much of a comic book fan of characters anyway. I mean, with a few exceptions, like sort of big films like the the Tim Burton Batmans, and maybe the Batman Begins and all that. But it's like I keep wanting to sit down and watch the new Batman, but I just can't do it. Not 3 fucking hours long.
Yeah, it's really boring.
I can barely last 45 minutes these days. Let a whole what's called 3 hours of my life dedicated to probably something I'm going to think is shit anyway.
No, but it speaks for you that you don't watch this Marvel crap. I hate to watch it. I have to say, I have to be true. I'm just watching it for this show. If we wouldn't talk about it, and also on the German stream, I have to talk about it, I wouldn't care for this character, this Moon Knight. Maybe he's in the comics a little bit more interesting, but in this show he isn't. And also, like you said, Kat, it is confusing because his opponent is also an avatar. It was a former avatar, but he has still powers. Where does he get his powers when he is not the avatar anymore? Does an avatar keep his powers after he got left or something like that? That doesn't make any sense. Or don't you think?
No, I didn't quite. I think he said something about he either took or got that cane thing that he was using, whatever staff, from the alligator lady. That's one of the goddesses.
Yeah, and let's talk let's talk a little bit about the plot. The plot is we have here this Moonlight avatar who works for a god that is kind of an outsider or something like that, who doesn't get a good understanding with the other gods. They even banned him for some time, but now he's back, and he is a kind of avenger. He revenge. He has some.
He's a mercenary.
Yeah, yeah, he's a mercenary, but the god is he kills bad people who have done
Yeah.
something bad. So he's kind of this type. But the opponent is a goddess, which is still buried. It's banned or something like that. But
Yeah.
her avatar, or the one here, the one that Ethan Hawke that speaks in her name and has these powers, I have no clue where he got them. They kill people before they do bad things. So
Yep.
they make a test with everybody, and when somebody is going to do something bad in the future, he is going to be killed. So
In other words, yeah, they get punished for things they haven't even done yet.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yes, and still, even with this stupid premise, he has a cult where people say, "Yeah, that sounds cool. Please give me a test." And it's like with this corona tests, just stupid people are doing them, because why the hell should you do one? You, it's
Right.
you have nothing to gain from it. If it's positive, then you get quarantine, lose your job or whatever. Yeah. So
Kind of like the movie with Tom Cruise, Precog, where you got arrested for what you were going to do.
yeah, Minority Report.
That's it. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's exactly that plot, kind of. And so yeah, the gods. So this god, this Avenger god or whatever, he fears that they wake up this other goddess here, this banned one. And but the avatar here, the Ethan Hawke avatar, he can convince the other gods that this outsider one is the real bad guy or whatever. I have no clue how he did that. Again, they have a trial and to bring up their case against each other, and for some reason the god here loses, and they tell him that he gets banned when he goes on or whatever, and then he does something. He revenges. No, he turns back time by here, Greg. It's nice you are back. If you like, you can continue from here on. How does he turn back? That he shows with the sky. He turns back the sky or something like that. That you can see something.
Well, he has a special ability.
Yeah.
That he's able to utilize as of course, this is the moon god of Egypt, and one of the things is these gods don't act anything like the Egyptian gods in any way, and we're missing Ra, we're missing the primary gods, who basically these little gods are like little yapping chihuahuas compared to the big gods. So there would not be a trial without Ra being like the head judge, and it was ridiculous. But let me just start from the beginning. The first episode was interesting. It was confusing, but having somebody who's like, okay, something's happening when I'm sleeping, and he's obviously trying to deal with it. The problem I had with the character, you had this British character who's totally beta. He's beyond what you would think of as a beta British male in modern society.
Yeah, a typical Brit or not?
I would not according to the Brits, that I've interacted with. It does
I'm hearing
seem
a bit
like
of jealousy from the German, yeah.
Right. I'm just saying this is how they would portray the Brits. Okay, let's just look at his actions. He has a supernatural dog almost kill him, chase him through the museum, tear the bathroom apart, and yet afterward, even though he can't see it on video and he knows it happened, he refuses to believe. He refuses to deal with the situation that could kill him. I'm sorry, but no matter how milquetoast you are, if you're almost killed, you would have to deal with it. You would have to admit, okay, this is going on. How do I deal with it? And the American version, I'm just going to call them the British and the American because you have a split personality. And I forget his name. The guy who played in Star Wars is the star of this show.
Yeah,
And
Apocalypse here, the guy. What's his name?
yeah, Cub will put his name in the chat. But
no, I can't remember.
No, he won't do that. We don't have Brent, so we're unable to do much of anything. But yes, it's unbelievable how he acts. His acting.
Isaacs, Oscar Isaacs.
Oscar, yes. Yeah. Okay, that's him, Oscar Isaac. So and his British accent's really bad. I mean,
yeah, it is.
It really is. I don't believe him as this beta Brit who. Every time he comes on the screen, it takes me out of the belief because he's just he's unable to pull off a convincing British.
Yes, and also you said he doesn't want to believe even when he gets nearly killed, but the whole episode he knows that something is going on because he chains himself. In the evening, he chains himself to his bed because he knows that somebody else takes over.
And we haven't even talked about his wife, who immediately wants a divorce. I mean, we immediately see her. It reminds me of like the late '60s, early '70s shows where divorce was getting more prominent, and so you had this unending litany of just watching these bad marriages, which I don't want to see that. I don't really care if you've got a bad marriage. I don't need to see it on TV. Yeah, okay, you've got problems. Why do we have to get it? Why is it always the same?
Yeah, and it's completely the fault of the guy again.
Of course, it's always the fault of the guy because that's how they write it. But in the old days, it was sometimes one, sometimes the other. But now, it's always daddy issues or the guy is to blame. And yeah, the guy is probably to blame at least half the time, but not all the time.
And let's talk about the memory loss of the woman, because not just our main hero seems to forget things or don't get things.
But also remember, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, well, she's also supposed to be the backup avatar for the moon god, the secondary Moon Knight. And obviously she's much, much better as a choice for, because, it doesn't matter if she's a woman, she's got supernatural powers. Well, she doesn't have any powers, and she's much better than the guy who has all these powers. One reason is because he's swapping back and forth, but they hint that, the god of Egypt, the Moon Knight god, I forget his name, is going to pick her. Well, he should pick her because the guy he picked sucks. But
and don't forget, she has all her abilities. She has every ability that Moon Knight, that the Mark or whatever character also has in his split personalities, because she understands Egypt. Here, can read it, but and she can fight, and she knows.
But
everything.
She has these naturally. Yeah. She's not getting any help from the god.
Yeah, but with our main hero, there is one personality that can read Egypt, can understand the language or
the
whatever.
British.
Yeah, and then there is one that can fight, and then there is one
the American, of course.
Yeah, and things like that. So, but it doesn't make any sense.
But the American is simplistic, stupid, and also a bad guy because he's not a good husband. And of course, he's not a good husband because he's trying to save the world from all these evil things, which she's completely aware of, but she still holds it against him, which doesn't make any sense.
In the second episode, she pretends that she doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
but she knows everything.
She knows everything.
Yeah. So
however,
it was a complete wasted episode. The whole episode.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so we mentioned, or Cub mentioned, the trial, but let's examine that trial. The trial doesn't include Ra. It doesn't include any of the gods that you normally would expect. And what does the trial consist of? Okay, they come on, they hear that the Ethan Hawke character, the avatar of the other god, I forget his name, is about to commit a great sacrilege by uncovering the tomb and releasing this seal that will destroy them all. And in actual fact, he's outside the tomb digging it out right now. Now these are gods. These are gods. And they can't go and look and see what he's doing. He says, "Oh, I happen to be in the sand, and that's completely normal." Yeah, he's outside the tomb digging in the sacred sand that he shouldn't be doing. And what do? All he has to do. Now, these are the gods of Egypt. These are vicious, very strong gods who give not a fuck about people. And yet, they're so concerned about the well-being of the avatar of the Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All he has to do is say, "Oh, but I saw him talking to himself once, and I'm so concerned for his mental health." And you know what they say? You know what really set me off, that turned me off and took me out of the whole thing? The main goddess of the trial says, "Oh, this is a safe space, and you can say whatever you want here. A safe space? Really? They're using 2022 terminology, and they're supposed to be the gods of Egypt, and that totally took me out of it. There was not a trial, and then they just end the trial without any evidence. It was ridiculous."
Yeah, but don't forget, all the gods were kind of stupid and evil, but the goddess, there was one woman, the god of love or something like that, she was okay. So we have again this agenda against man in general, and it's just so annoying. It's really
okay. I expected that, but it's okay. You would not expect it of the Egyptian gods. The Egyptian gods are kind of unique in that male and female are not. They don't put each other down. They recognize that each have their great strengths, and they live off each other. They survive together. It's hard to describe, but men and women aren't enemies. We've been a team throughout all of history, and to pit us against each other is the ultimate evil.
Yeah. So as I said, they want to search something in the past, and for that they make this god makes this here this thing with the sky that everybody can see it on Earth, by the way.
Right. And remember, they made a big deal about not revealing themselves.
Yeah. So he does this super stupid thing. Why did he do that? To find the tomb that the other one is already digging out. So it would be much easier just to find this other guy who is digging it out anyway. Why the hell do they have to make this past thing? See the sky, how it looked like 1,000 years ago or something like that. I have no clue what is going on.
No, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to take shots at Cub.
Yeah, and so now in episode 3, it is more and more clear that Moonlight sucks completely, and that this woman, his ex-wife, whatever, that she's kind of the main character, or don't you think?
Oh, she's definitely a superior avatar, and Kat's right. It's very confusing the way they jump back and forth. But that was okay for like one episode, but then you need to resolve that. Otherwise, it's highly confusing and irritating, and it doesn't make any sense.
And they are constantly bitching at each other here. There's two guys in the guy. They have this rivalry where one constantly wants to come out and says, "Oh, let me take over. You can't handle that. Here, the tough guy wants constantly, but there seems to be another personality that we haven't seen yet, because some killings happened, and nobody of our
that's true.
that we already
I,
have
that
seen.
I assume that was the god taking over because his avatar just sucked.
No, the god was not taking over. It's clearly a third avatar, because a third person, because we know there are even more persons in this guy. It's no secret. So
Well, you know that.
yeah,
I knew that.
I know that because I watched a little bit here of comic reviews and so on, and so there is another personality, of course, and the god he takes just one time over when during the trial, I think.
So Cub basically cheated, just for the record. He's watching comic reviews or something like that. Just for the record, we didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's really not a surprise that there are probably more than these two idiots.
It's a surprise. I'm surprised. I didn't know there were more. There's no evidence of that. I'm not even sure it's correct. Cub's
Yeah,
probably wrong again.
No,
yeah,
he's
I think in the comics he has even 7 or something like that. Really,
Something
many.
I haven't
like
read the
that.
comics.
I haven't
you
either,
know, I
but I've
read
read
novels.
about them. So
Yeah.
There you go.
No,
Do
I
you
haven't
have
read them
anything
either.
else to say about it, Kat?
I can remember now what I was trying to say earlier that I couldn't remember. The way that they shot this back and forth stuff reminded me of the FX original show on in 2017 called Legion. It was very confusing like that with back and forth stuff. And yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that was kind of lost there. Oh, gravy train. That was, I don't know. I wouldn't, I mean, I'll see where it goes, but after, if it doesn't do any better than what it's doing, I would just probably just set my grandkid in front of it to watch. That'd be about it, truthfully, because it's not something I'm going to watch over again, you know.
Yeah, I'm also completely not interested in how it goes on. But in the last episode, we see that he gets shot. Moon Knight. But by the way, we haven't mentioned Moon Knight yet, because every character has his own Moon Knight. So when this this British guy, as you say, when he is
Yeah, he wears a suit.
Yeah.
I hated that thing.
Yeah, it looks so ridiculous.
Ugly.
Ugly, and also he's not a good fighter with this.
And it's a white suit. You know what it reminded me of was Saturday Night Fever with John Travolta. Da, 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 da. Every time he shows up on the screen, I'm hearing the Saturday Night Fever theme. I know that's just me.
Yeah, I thought about
Staying alive. Staying alive.
I thought about Colonel Sanders here from Kentucky Fried
Now,
Chicken.
don't insult. That's an insult to the South now.
Yeah,
Colonel Sanders has good chicken, and he fights Yankees. That's two things.
The thing is, we constantly get to see this boring version of Moon Knight. We barely can get to see this more interesting one that looks more like in the comic. And now it seems like this our main character got shot and is now in a prison, in a insane asylum or something like that.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, where he meets the woman again. Here, I think this all plays in his mind or something like that. It's obvious.
Yeah, there was in episode 5, Kat, that they end up in an insane asylum and they're both in there somehow.
I did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's 5 episodes. My bad. Yeah, I watched that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't worth talking about though.
Yeah, and
again, it was confusing.
And the thing is it ended that both men, the tough and the other one, the British and the American one, they both act now like women and get.
Hey, you're insulting women.
Yeah, but really, they are now together, trying to get out of this asylum,
But
whatever.
they're lame. They don't act like women I know.
Yeah, and it ends with them screaming like women, screaming. That's the last shot of the when the door opens and they see something scary.
I've never had a woman I know scream like that. These are, I don't know, beta males or something. They're worse. They're different.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I wouldn't toss them. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we can agree that this TV series is really not worth watching, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks so far unless they throw some sort of a, unless they change the series dramatically, which it really needs to have happen, and it seems totally unlikely. So far, what I've seen is total trash. You had an interesting concept. The concept of having it go back and forth and then utilizing the gods of Egypt, that's a good concept. But the writing and the acting and the directing are terrible, just bad.
Yeah, and also the comedy in it drags it down, because if they would have taken it completely seriously, then and R-rated or something like that, and really,
Oh hell yeah,
and
on
really,
Disney Plus.
First off, the threat shouldn't be one that nobody cares about, because really, I don't give a crap on the.
I'm very worried about Egyptian gods attacking.
Yeah,
that's why I keep cats around.
No, I would if the series would have another tone.
Do you know the penalty for killing a cat in Egypt was death?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the lowest penalty.
Yeah, but I would say if they would make it as a serious, the tone much more serious, not keeping out all the Marvel comedy elements from it, and really show the struggle here between the personalities and so on, and give us really not this stupid threat. But by the way, it's really this god is so unsympathetic. Both of them. I just don't care for them. And but let's go on.
Okay, so we're going to go to the next topic unless we have something else.
No, I don't have anything to say more about this stupid show.
Well, that's what it's like when we've all seen one of the shows, Doc. The next one is one I think only Cub saw again. I'm planning on seeing it at the theaters. Maybe Kat saw it. It's called The Northman.
Oh no, but I could watch it if I wanted to. I didn't know that was on the list.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you didn't give me that one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, Cub added it late.
Yeah, it was too late for me, because it still didn't come out here. And
well, why don't we just save that one for next time and we'll all see it?
Okay.
Yes, nobody has watched it. Maybe Magic has watched it.
No, maybe Magic has watched it.
No. I'm enjoying this because you're basically doing a very long-winded way of saying this is shite.
Has anybody seen the trailer?
I like the format though. Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Okay, Doc likes the format, so that's something.
No, it's good. I like it when people can, because it's so simple to say something is crap, but it's nice to be able to flesh out a reason why it's crap.
Oh, we demand reason.
Oh, you did a very good reason in there, OG. I'll give you that.
Yeah, the best reason, of course, is because of the stupid, annoying British character in it.
He's British?
That disqualifies it anyway. So yeah,
I thought he was Norwegian or Swedish or something.
No,
oh my God,
I mean Moon Knight here.
Moon Knight. I thought we were moving on to the Northman. Okay, so do you want to table the Northman till the next show?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Well, you never know. You put it on this show and then you didn't watch it. And none of us watched it because I didn't give it to Kat in time.
No, I couldn't.
And then my internet glitched.
Yeah, when I put it on the list, they said it comes out before the stream, but it didn't. That's the reason why I put it on there. I thought it comes out in time that we can watch it, but it didn't.
No,
Okay,
maybe this
now-
could be a whole new section for you, which is reviewing stuff you haven't watched.
We do that.
Because it might be a very, very simple section of the show.
Hey, we were about to do that. Believe me. That's when we
Okay.
go over like movie trailers and things. But okay, here's one that I have added. I get to add some stuff, and this is one I did a review on. Nobody watches my channel, but
No, it was a good
I
review.
do.
some people do. Okay, so this is one I know Kat has seen, and Cub should have seen, but he may not have. You never know. Oh, I could not watch it because of reasons. It's this Big Legend from 2018. It's a fairly modern Bigfoot movie, and
Yeah.
I watched it, by the way.
it's shocking. And Kat got to see it too. I think I did a review on it, but I'm gonna let Kat lead off, and then we'll go to Cub, and then we'll go to me and have you got a chance to see it, Doc?
No, I'm afraid not. No, this is where I'm actually not very good at this reviewing stuff because you
Have you
actually
seen
need
any
to have
Bigfoot
something.
movie?
I saw the '86 one with John Lithgow. Does that count?
It kind of does. That's a comedy though. This is definitely
what
not
about the TV series of Harry and the Hendersons with the,
Well, that's
none of
another
the original
comedy.
cast?
This is a more realistic
Serious.
depiction.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Did you say a realistic interpretation of Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. That's
There's
like
a
saying
lot of people who
realistic-
believe in it, and if
that-
Bigfoot ate your girlfriend, you might believe in it too.
No, if Bigfoot ate my girlfriend, I would shake his hand.
Yeah, well, I
think-
would
I think,
have to.
Magic. I
that-
think your wife is going to shake his hand if Bigfoot eats your girlfriend.
Don't introduce your girlfriend to your wife, and sure don't mention Bigfoot to him.
Well, you see, all the women in my life, what's good, they're all a thorn in some respects, yes.
It's a happy thorn. That's what roses are. You grip the rose because the pain, like Johnny Cash says, the pain is what makes you realize you're alive. But okay, I'll start it out by saying this is a movie where at the very beginning he takes his girlfriend out to the woods, which is a crappy place to take somebody to give them the ring for marriage. But Bigfoot attacks and drags her off, and so now this becomes a revenge. To me, it's not a monster movie. This is a revenge. He knows damn well what happened to his girl. He knows he's not crazy, and he's gonna eventually. They put him in an insane asylum, but he's gonna go back out there, and he knows very well what he's going up against, and he knows he's not gonna survive, or he's got to know that in the back of his heart, because this is a soldier. This is a special ops guy, and he saw what happened, and he's not going to put up with that any more than I would. I would go the hell back there, and I would rather die than live with the knowledge that I didn't get my revenge, that I didn't stick a knife. Yeah, okay, he's going to kill me, but before he does, he's going to know I was there. He's going to know that, okay, you ate the wrong fracking girl.
Yeah. And by the way, hi, Jess. Nice you could make it.
Oh, Jez is here. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to Kat. I know she saw this one, and what do you
Yes.
think of the movie?
I really liked it. I thought that it was pretty well shot for being a Netflix movie. I'm just gonna say it like that. I'd say it about Hulu or any of them. It's just like cable to me. But I watched it and I was like, this is really well shot. I even liked the scenery. It was so beautiful there in the forest where they were and stuff. And I thought he got a really bum rap getting thrown into the insane asylum. And I mean, he told them everything that he knew, and they wouldn't listen. Why keep him in there? Why not? Why weren't they? Didn't they say they didn't find her body? Well, he did eventually, and it makes me wonder, why didn't they keep looking deeper and deeper into the woods? Because if you go out into the woods and they're really dense, like they are around where I live, if you don't know where you are, and even if you do know where you are, you might get turned around and lost. So I don't, and one thing, when he didn't exactly see her get taken, he heard her scream, because remember, he thought he heard, quote unquote, a bear outside their camp because the bells were going off. So he went out there and he was kind of a little bit off from her, and that's when it grabbed her. And I thought, I understand looking around your camp area, but I don't know why people always leave people like that. I really liked it because it actually made me scream at one point. I jump screamed. When it jumped out, the thing hit the Bigfoot, and I was like, oh my God. And I don't usually do that with movies, but it was pretty good. And then, you know, he met that one guy. There was a guy that was out there. He was some dude with this big, looked like an AK-47 or something. And he was kind of shady. And they talked about a company or something that was out there. And they were, remember, weren't they looking for the Bigfoot too? Also?
Yes, he definitely knew it was out there.
Yeah, that guy that had the ball cap on he was always sitting
and
there
then he
the
ended up
flag
getting
was.
injured.
Yeah, he did very badly because they found a kill nest is what they found, and I mean it was gross. But they tried to get out of there, but he got swiped and broke his leg, and compound fracture and everything, which was some good gore. And that guy drug him all the way down the hill, and I kept thinking, just keep going, just get out of there, because he's just a dead horse. You're dragging him. Both of you ain't gonna make it out of there. But he had to go back.
That's kind of a military thing, though. He wasn't going to leave him behind, even though it cost him his life. I could see that if you've talked to military people, they're like they're not going to leave a buddy behind like that. Even though, and even if he had left him behind, that Bigfoot would have killed the guy and been in front of him. The thing was fast.
Yeah, it was. It was trailing him from the time that him and his girlfriend went out there. That time it was trailing them, and it was trailing the other two the whole time they were out in the woods, even before they knew it.
Yeah,
I like it too because we have a version of Bigfoot called the Ohio Grass Man, and it was like, every time I drive by the woods now, I think of that.
What do you think about the Ohio Grass Man?
I would have, from what stuff I've seen, not personally with my own visual eyes, although I do have one picture, and it's a footprint, and it's out of a place called Buzzard's Roost near where I live. And I had I can't explain, I just had this weird feeling like I was being watched. And it had rained and stuff, and I did find a print, and I did take a picture of it. It's big. It doesn't look like a bear print. It doesn't, I don't know what it is.
You're saying you got a picture of a print that's suspicious.
Yeah, it is suspicious. I've showed it to a few other people, and they said, that's odd. I'm like, I don't know, but I felt so weird in there, and I don't usually feel weird in the woods, that I hightailed it down there as fast as I could, and I was kind of a little bit lost. But usually that wouldn't bother me. It's like you just keep going that direction, you're going to end up out at the road eventually, which I knew, but I just felt like I was being watched, Greg. It was creepy.
I can tell you, I've been out hunting.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me. Sure. I've been out hunting, and I've had rifles and pistols on me, and I've had that weird feeling, and everything disappears. I mean, there's no game, there's no nothing, and you don't just feel it. The hairs on the back of your neck pop up and on your arms. And even though you're carrying a rifle, even though you got a 45 at your hip, you feel like, okay, I don't need to be here. There's something inside of you that says, there's something watching me. I don't know what it is. And even though you're heavily armed, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to go hunting. I'm going to go home and have several beers and try and pretend like this didn't happen. And I'm not going to tell anybody.
My mom was waiting in the car for me when I got back from that, and I told her, because I said, I don't care. I said, I just felt weird out there. I said, felt like I was being watched. Didn't like it.
I know that feeling.
And it was nice there because there's a waterfall right by where I was walking, and a lot of creeks, a lot of greenery. There's deer all through there. Yeah.
I can tell you, when you've got a bunch of weapons on you, you don't feel that fear, except sometimes, like one time, I have felt it, and I know something was watching me, and that something wasn't scared of my guns at all. So can I say I don't have pictures of Prince, but I've talked to people who say they've seen it, and I don't know what's going on out there. But yeah, the movie, it kind of speaks to you if you've had any experience at all that spooked you. And I don't know any other word for it. And I'm not easily spooked. Remember, I was an oil field guy. I worked blowout. I didn't
Yeah.
care. We're talking flames 100 feet in the air, explosive conditions that, when the flames stopped, that's when the gas got really high, and it could easily ignite. And then it's really dangerous. When the flames are there, you're not worried. It's when the flames all go out that you got to worry, because any spark and boom. But that didn't scare me. Something out there scared me. Can I say I believe in Bigfoot? And no. But can I say I don't believe in it? No. I don't know. I don't know. It's the movie kind of taps into that. It's well shot. It's well acted. We haven't heard from Cub. Cub's our German skeptic. We know
Yeah,
Germany is filled with vampires and werewolves, but I don't know that there's any Bigfoot over there. So
yeah.
what do you have to say?
The thing
That's a
is,
good question.
it is a good, well-made movie. If you are into this stuff, like with Bigfoot, if you like these kind of stories, I think this is something for you. But I'm not into Bigfoot at all, and so
Oh
normally,
man, Bigfoot eats those people first.
yeah, no, normally I wouldn't have watched it because I'm just not so much into Bigfoot. I think it for me it was just a monster movie which
Mhm.
was well made, but with Bigfoot as the threat, it was
You
not
don't see
so.
it as a revenge movie about his missing girl. I don't think it's a monster movie. I think it's a revenge movie.
Yeah, it is a revenge movie,
Yeah.
uh, but the thing that he was hunting Bigfoot himself, I just thought it's not so interesting as the monster. For me, Bigfoot, I don't see Bigfoot in the, for example, in the Woods movie. For me, is something like Evil Dead or something like that. That is that is for me more interesting. Even
Okay, so let's examine that. You're not religious, and yet things that are religious, like Evil Dead, we're talking about satanic and whatnot. You that's interesting, but things that are possibly cryptids or whatever, where we do have things that are supposed to be extinct from millions of years ago that get identified, and perhaps there's something that hasn't been identified. Okay, that's possible to me. I mean, it's unlikely, but you have to look at the Yetis and stuff. You had the great people who climb the top of these mountains like Everest, and then they see tracks well above anywhere where people live, and there's these giant tracks that lead off, and that's the
yeah,
abominable snowman or
no,
Yeti, and that's the same creature.
Greg. The thing is, this is American mythology,
Oh, and
and
because it's American, we have to throw it out.
no,
That's
no,
sad.
no, and Europe, and for us in Europe, it is just not that we have no connection to it. It's like say a Yeti or a Bigfoot or whatever. These are things where we say,
Well,
yeah,
the Yeti's
okay,
actually Asian, but
Yeah.
yeah, but even the Yeti is for us not that interesting. It doesn't have here this resonance or here in
it
Europe.
was European explorers who spotted
Yeah,
the Yeti track.
yeah, and so, but the movie itself. Let's stick
Okay,
just to the
let's go
movie
back.
itself. It is a well-made movie. I wasn't bored. It was just for me not that interesting because of Bigfoot himself. The only Bigfoot movie which I kind of liked was this old one, which we already talked about. here this found footage, kind of like not found footage, this documentation-like movie, this classic. Here, The Legend of Boogie Creek, or
Legend of Boggy Creek, yes.
yeah, this is one that I kind of liked.
There were some other decent ones like Creature from Black Lake with Jack Elam. Of course, it means more to you if you've had any kind of if you've talked to somebody, like we've just talked to Cat Claw, who's taken a picture of a print. I've talked to other people who've actually seen the thing, and they're very believable, and I can't just dismiss it. I'm sorry, and when you've been out there and you've had that feeling that you're being watched by something, you can't just dismiss it.
Yeah, as I said, it's a well-made movie. I have no complaints about the movie itself. It is just something I'm not so interested in Bigfoot.
Well, that's fair. He didn't complain about it. That's
Right.
That's like that's almost like a recommendation.
Yeah, I recommend it for people who are into this stuff, who like Bigfoot movies. It is clearly one of the better ones. That's for sure.
Oh, great.
But if I would have to choose between this one and the old one that we already talked about, I would choose the old one just because the documentation style I liked a little bit more than this action revenge story.
Well, that's fair, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also these older ones, they have this charm. The movie from the 70s, which I just like. I like the movie, the film grain, and so on. And so yeah, but still, it's not a bad movie. Somebody is
All
into
right.
this stuff. I
That
recommend.
was my more modern movie that I recommended, and I think Kat recommends, and
Oh, yeah.
and significantly, Cub doesn't hate, which is almost another recommendation.
Yes. Nowadays, these are high praise.
It's high praise. Okay, now here's something that I refuse to watch because it's woke and British, and since the Timeless Children, I refuse to watch any of these things. They spat on Doctor Who, but Cub put it on the list, Doctor Who, and so we get to hear what Cub has. Did you get a chance to see Doctor Who, Doc or Cat?
What, the new series or
Yeah.
the classic Who?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't
The
watch that
classic
new stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, I watched the classic Who, but I don't.
Well, you
really
can
watch
talk
the
about
new.
classic, and then Cub will go with the new stuff.
Oh, let's see. Tom Baker was my favorite Doctor, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I watched him from the 70s. I was a little kid. What was my first episode? The Pyramids of Mars. I really do like that episode in particular of his.
And the opening sequence, the music and the
Oh, that's so trippy. I loved it.
right. It was a great. Once you just seeing that, as soon as I hear the music or see that, I go back to when I first watched Doctor Who. I was like, it was on like Channel 8, which was PBS, and there was nothing good on that channel ever. But sometimes it would be on there, and I was like, oh my God, this is worth watching. And Benny Hill were the great, and Monty Python, of course.
Yes, somebody else that has the same opinion of me. I love Benny Hill and Monty Python. That was great stuff.
And Doctor Who. That was your great British television.
I did like Are You Being Served as well because it had.
I did too.
I
watched
that.
I did watch that.
Oh man,
they were funny. They were hilarious.
That is weird hearing Americans say they like something like Are You Being Served, because I would think of that as being something, so British. It's very difficult for sort of like people who don't reside within our culture to sort of get a lot of the humor, but that's good. That's good.
It was funny.
It has traveled.
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay,
I do think the sort of the way people who work in department stores is probably over-egged a little bit. I can tell you they wouldn't be that enthusiastic.
No.
They might be, though. remember, for us, it's from a different culture. So we can't really judge it. And it's like, okay, we're willing to just take it as it comes. And for British humor, like Monty Python or Are You Being Served? For me, it was always looking at it from a oblique approach, meaning kind of sideways. If you look at it straight on, it's not that funny. But if you just turn your head a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're like, oh, it's hilarious. Go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead and bring us down with your deal about modern Who.
Yeah,
No, I think it's great what's good hearing Americans say that stuff like that is funny, because I can imagine a lot of the stuff that we've made probably might not translate as well. But I mean, someone like me and Jezza could probably list off a shitload of shows that we could try on you to see what you actually think.
Oh, Jez got me to watching the one that inspired Sanford and Son. I forget.
Steptoe and Sons.
Steptoe, yes, that was actually funny too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
I've
weird
never got
the
to
way
see
that
it.
was
I
sort of
need to.
translated in America.
I had never even heard of it before Jez told me about it. But it in a lot of ways it's superior to Sanford and Son. But Sanford and Son, okay, what y'all guys probably don't get is that when I was young, a lot of this racism and stuff we kind of put to the past, which is weird because of what we're dealing with now. But when you go over like your black buddy's house, he would have like an older black guy there who, like, he was just shocked to have a white guy in his house. And he would sit there and make racial remarks one after the other. And I would sit there and laugh at him, just, because it was funny. And it was just like Fred Sanford. And he would sit there and look at it. Don't you know I'm making fun of you, boy? I said, yeah, and it's hilarious. And then we'd go out and smoke a joint or whatever, because we didn't have that racial hatred. We would just laugh at these, and really, their jokes weren't out of a place of hatred. They were actually happy that they could interact with white folk who weren't all assholes, and it should have led to a really bright future, which it was until we got sidetracked by these woke liberal bastards who are destroying our culture. So that's another subject. Anyway, Sanford and Son showed a racist older black guy who, while he was racist, it was fine. Who cares? He wasn't filled with hate. He was just that way. And if you can accept people for what they are, that's, you can sit there and have a beer with them and laugh with them. And if they make fun of you, you can make fun of them. And then it just goes back and forth and you end up having a good time.
Yep.
I can't explain it unless you've experienced it. But I'll tell you this, the South is not what they make us out to be. We all get along really good here in Houston. We don't hate each other. Blacks and whites and Mexicans get along really good.
I've been to Texas, and some of the nicest people are in Texas. They really are. My sister's been there separately from me, and she said the same thing. She hitchhiked there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We're just people, man. We treat people like, unless you're an asshole, if you're an asshole of any race, oh man, you can get in trouble. You can get stuck with a knife, But if you're a normal good guy or even just a normal guy, even if you're a racist asshole, we're going to give you a lot of space and just kind of laugh at you. I don't know how y'all do it in other areas. I haven't been to a lot of other areas, but I've been around the South and I've been down to Mexico. And I don't go north of the Mason-Dixon line. They'd probably, shoot me. I'm just assuming. I don't know. But it's damn cold up there. Cat will tell you it's too cold.
Yes.
It's like a frozen hell, just like I imagined.
That's exactly it. Frozen hell. It was, good God, what did I tell you? It was that one day like 10 degrees, and oh my goodness, about died.
Oh my God.
Now it's in the 80s.
Yeah, nice.
So, we have some bipolar weather here, really.
Yeah, I would say I am just tell a little bit about this last Doctor Who
Oh yeah, we
episode.
hadn't even talked about Doctor Who from nowadays. You go ahead, Cub. I'm gonna make another drink. There's a rule in Texas: when you're streaming with a German, you got to drink rum and beer. So I've got to get another rum.
Yeah, there's a rule in this country: if you're streaming with a German, you've got to drink battery acid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm going to keep this really short because the 13th Doctor in his 13th series, no, what you call it, a season 13.
I like the fact you're referring to the 13th Doctor as a he as well, Cub.
Yeah. It's for me, it's a he that pretends to be a she that pretends to be acts like a he anyway. But the thing is, it has just 6 episodes, this 13th season with this female doctor, and now we are seeing 3 kind of specials. They call it that because they are special bad, even worse than the other ones. And we have suffered now to the second special, and there is just one left, which the only interesting thing in this episode, and to keep it short, it's called Legend of the Sea Devils. It plays in China, 1807 or something like that, where some sea devil gets released from a statue or something like that, and now enslaves the people or whatever, and it is kind of a little bit like Pirates of the Caribbean. You have a female captain that is kind of the something like the hero, but even if she's a pirate, but she's kind of a good pirate or something like that, and she helps Doctor Who and her friends. They came there and they
was this the episode where they had the Sea Devils?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then the Sea Devils. They only used them really once or twice during Pertwee's time, and they didn't resurrect them because they were just amazingly crap. Oh no, they used one during Pertwee's first or second season. Then I think Davidson had them once because the suits were so bloody awful and unconvincing that they just were not a viable character. There's a reason normally when characters only get used once in Doctor Who, it's because they're either too convoluted or they're just boring. So
Yes.
there's a this sort of bringing back these really old villains just goes to show the sort of levels that they're stooping to for ideas. You know, it's a case. Oh look, we've got an old classic character villain. Please watch.
In the original one, where they're also coming out of the water, enslaving people that and want to enslave humanity or something like that. Is that the go from the Sea Devils in general?
What I remember, I think it's supposed to be a race that ruled Earth before humans came along, and then we've conveniently forgotten that we overthrew them. And occasionally they come out in their rubbery suits and try to take Earth back, or the land back over again.
Yeah, and in this one, as I said, they want to take over, enslave people, and they got fighting against here the Doctor and her troop of stupids. Here, the 3 whatever. They separate from each other. The Doctor and Jess go on their path, and this other 2 worthless side characters here having their own adventure, separate from each other. And the guy, of course, his only thing. What was the 4th character again? We have Jess and the Doctor and this guy and.
Yes, you got John Bishop, a very forthright comedian who's now trying to move into acting like they always do when their careers falter.
Yeah, and what was the 4th character again?
I don't know. I know originally she had 3 companions, didn't she? But I think 2 have got so disgusted with the stories they've left.
Yeah, I think no. He goes on with with one other character I don't care for anyway, and it's a female character, of course. He goes on with, and so he's constantly just stunningly saying something like, "Oh, there," or something like that. The female mate does all the things, and he's just astonished or something like that. It's only lines.
The only thing I've heard about this episode, apart from you explaining it, Cub, is a lot of idiots claiming that there was almost a lesbian relationship started in the TARDIS.
Yes.
So when that's all the feedback I get from the episode, that's all I need to know about how dire it now must be.
Yeah. They try, they hint at it a little bit because Jess and the Doctor are on their own, and it's love is in the air, but they don't make out. Like,
you see, this is the problem I've had with all of New Who, is that they clearly never bothered watching original Who, which is the Doctor had no romantic interest in anybody, none of his companions, no matter how attractive the female companions could be.
I know.
And that was the purpose of the companion is supposed to be the vehicle for the viewer finding out what the hell's going on, because you need someone to say, "Doctor, can you please explain this? Could you please explain what's going on? Could you please explain what the motivation of the villain is?" Because without that, a lot of the stories just wouldn't make sense.
Yes, of course, and also the companion represents kind of it keeps the Doctor kind of because the Doctor himself is a kind of a god. He can do everything and go anywhere, and sees humans, but every race is for him just there. It's not really something he's interested in, yes, but not really. It's for him like humans are interested in ants or something like that, and the companion serves kind of to keep the Doctor grounded, or what you would say, to remind him of maybe sometimes that humans are also there, and or something like that. It normally it works.
The companion is the exposition. That's what it's basically.
Yeah, the expositionator 3000. Yeah.
Yeah.
And or exposition machine, what you call it. So as I said, and at the end, they of course they can defeat this stupid Sea Devil thing, and what now comes is the only interesting scene, because we see a glimpse of the next episode, and in the next episode we see for half a second the regeneration scene of the Doctor, which means this thing is over in just one episode, and then the female Doctor, stupid Doctor, is gone, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait that we get rid of this of the witch, and then we can sing "Ding Dong, the witch is dead" or something like that.
Do you know what I find very strange about what's going on at the moment is that they still have not announced who's replacing him, her, it, whatever you want to call it. Because normally the Beeb are always making a song and dance about the new Doctor, and you're normally told probably at least 6 to 12 months in advance before. Because of course, during the 50th anniversary, so we're talking, 9 years ago, we already knew well in advance that Peter Capaldi was going to be the next Doctor, because they even have him in a cameo in it.
Yes, and we don't even know if the Doctor is in the 60th anniversary, if this she-Doctor. We have no clue.
That is very true. Do you know what, Cub? I think there isn't going to be anywhere near as much fanfare for the 60th as there was for the 50th, because I still believe that. I know they keep saying that Russell T's got the keys back to the TARDIS, and he's going to retcon everything because of the Timeless Children. I'm not even sure it's going to continue. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got something else like spin-offs or something he intends to do, but he's maybe they might actually, just do the sensible thing and, hang it up like they should have done, about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes, the thing is really, this is such a confusing situation because we still don't know who is going to be the next Doctor. We don't know when even when the next last episode comes out, there is not a date for it. It's just late end 2022. It's the only date I have for it. So I have no clue when this last episode even airs. And as I said, this 60th anniversary is, I think, the one after that. Is that correct, Magic?
Well, the 60th would be next November. But if they are going to, when they show this final episode, I think they're going to have to really think about the time slot they give it, because this last episode has got the worst overnight viewing figures ever, including the original series, because the original lowest overnight was 3.1, and that was the very last season of Sylvester McCoy's, because at the time, and I know this because I remember reading about it, the BBC was so disinterested in the show, they weren't even advertising it anymore. So even fans didn't know the show was back.
Yeah.
It's not the time slot.
This time they've got a BBC that still supports, even though it's a fucking awful show now. And they deliberately put it on a Sunday because of higher viewing figures than on a Saturday. And they put it between two of the most watched shows on a Sunday as well. And it's still coming in with shit overnights, because because they do the consolidated now, don't they, where they add the iPlayer and those who recorded it and watch it within 7 days, which of course wasn't available in 1989. But if it still comes under, say they only get 500,000, it'll still be the overall lowest viewed show in the history. And if it is, I will laugh very, very hard.
Yeah. It deservedly, because this episode was boring. It sucked. It was annoying as hell. It was again the men were portrayed as stupid fucks as usual. There was even there was only woman action, even here with the pirate, this pirate woman that was kind of like here the Johnny Depp or something like that here in Pirates of the Caribbean, but not gay, like not a gay pirate. It was just a pirate who was capable of everything, kind of. So like every woman there, and Jess, nice to see you here.
Yes, well, I just thought I'd pop in for a moment.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, your sound is crappy.
I know.
Yeah, you're very quiet, Jezzer.
I know there doesn't seem to be a lot I can do about it. I think my connection on the board itself is on its way out.
We sound all right. We can just about hear you. It's all right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I didn't even know that Doctor Who had come back at all.
Yeah, I think there's more people who wish it fucking hadn't.
Just could you watch maybe this last episode here, Sea Devils or whatever from Doctor
Yeah,
Who?
watch it, Jez, now.
Why should I? There is no reason a semi-sane man like myself should even go down that road. I haven't watched Doctor Who for a while. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it is. It is unwatchable crap. Yeah.
Do you know what the sad thing is that I really like Peter Capaldi's Doctor, but I do not like a single one of his stories. They're all fucking awful.
At last, a middle-aged Doctor we could identify with. And
It was like having Pertwee back again.
They gave him nothing to work with. The scripts were terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there were.
I watched his first season and I was out. It was absolute fucking dog shit. And I think I saw maybe the Christmas special from 2016, and that was just the one where it wasn't Rassilon, but whoever was the chief of the Time Lords, who the Doctor shoots to save. What was his companion? That stupid bitch, Clara. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, then he regenerates and he turns into a black woman and starts going on about, oh, I don't know how I cope with all that ego. And it was just, oh, go fuck yourselves. Go triple, quadruple fuck yourselves. And he was just, oh, for God's sake.
Oh, it was
And
so
the thing
bad.
is, it really irritates me because it never once in the original series did they make any reference to Time Lords being able to change their sex. Because, it would seem odd that the Doctor would remain exactly the same for, 13 regenerations and then suddenly decide that he was going to be a woman. Fuck's sake, when Romana regenerated and was trying on different bodies, they were all still female.
Yes. Yeah. This is correct. These are things they just don't know or don't care for, and even I know them. I
remember people said that. Oh, apparently, Tom Baker said it was possible because he made a joke about who he'd like to see as the next Doctor after, I think, Peter Davison. He said something like Dawn French, but it was a joke. That's all it was meant to be. He didn't mean that he was actually wanted a fucking woman.
Well, Timeless Children was such an insult. I couldn't watch it after that.
Yes, Time with
I think that was supposed to be Doctor Who's Last Jedi moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
It was a total insult to the fandom.
Yeah. So as I said, the only interesting scene in this episode is really after when it's over and you see the glimpse of the next one, where you see for a half of a second the regeneration scene from Jodie into we don't know what. So
please be into Capaldi, and he says that fuck me, that was a terrible dream, and then he just carries on.
Yes, the Dallas treatment. I would agree on that. Yeah, let him wake up under the shower and say, "Oh my God, this was a horrible. These 3 years were a horrible dream that went over 3 years or something like that."
Also, I want him to wake up and realize that last story he did, where they had that David, whatever his name is, David playing the first Doctor, which I saw bits of it. I've never another way of just basically kicking the original series in the testicles by completely misrepresenting how William Hartnell's first Doctor was. He was nothing like that.
I hated that special when they brought that guy back to play William Hartnell's Doctor. And
I can't remember his name. Don't get me wrong. He played William Hartnell very well in Adventures in Time and Space.
Guy who was in that drama of Time and Space or whatever it was called.
That's right. Yeah, because he was playing William Hartnell.
Yeah.
But this was him playing the first Doctor with nothing like him. Nothing like him.
Well, they just like you just said, bollocks. They kicked him in the nuts time and time again, calling him a sexist.
Yeah. And by the way,
he's a bigot. He has no respect for what's called women and all that. Bull fucking shit, did he?
Yeah, they could use the Christmas episode here where they are all trapped here from parasites or whatever, with the Santa Claus saving them, and they could say they are still trapped in there, and go on from there.
But it's also a big disrespect as well. Recasting a dead actor, because they did it already in the 5 Doctors. But that was fine because it was just a one-off, and it was a way of tipping your hat to the past, and also they even have a clip of William Hartnell at the very beginning to remind you this was the original first Doctor. Unfortunately, he can't be with us because he's passed on, but we've got a replacement actor who sort of passingly looks like him, but it's a complete one-off. That's it, and that's exactly where it should always be.
Yeah, I would prefer that also, but the
only other exception they've ever done was Big Finish did a 50th anniversary audio venture, which had the 4th, remember now, it's the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Doctor in it, and they do feature the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Doctor. They're supposed to be trapped in another dimensional, and what they did is they got Sean Pertwee to voice John Pertwee, so obviously that's his son.
Nice.
They got David Troughton to voice. Oh no, it wasn't David. No, it was Fraser Hines who played Jamie. They got him to voice obviously the 2nd Doctor, and I can't remember who they got for the 1st Doctor it might have been the same actor who they got to do the voiceover in the 50th. When he says, Time Lords of Gallifrey, this is the Doctor, because apparently the first Doctor never said the word Gallifrey. But they got people in where it wasn't disrespecting them, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that's the difference. Now we have this hack, Chibnall, whatever, and he's completely shitting on the legacy of Doctor Who. And even I'm not even the big Doctor Who expert, and I haven't seen every old episode. I'm still watching them.
Do you know what the worst thing is, Cub, about what's called Doe Chibnall? Is that cunt had the cheat to go on a show in the mid-'80s. I forget what it was called. It was like one of these talkback shows where, members of the audience could talk to, like, show producers, directors, and all that to, give criticism. And he was in the audience criticizing the then producer, John Nathan Turner, saying, like, oh, the show's not very good at the moment, and I think it could be a lot better. Well, fucking that cunt's got a nerve.
Yeah. I can remember that box, that little shitty little teenager in the audience.
I know, with a little yellow tie looking like a complete bell end. And there he is, what's it called? Oh, I don't think Doctor Who's as good as it used to be.
In all fairness, bollocks, even back then he looked the perfect showrunner for the modern BBC.
Yeah, so as I said, this episode, I'm just one episode left that I can say I have stayed through this horrible new Doctor, which is not the Doctor for me anyway. But I would say, Greg, are you still with us?
Oh, I'm still here.
Yeah.
You hadn't been seeing me in the chat?
Yeah,
I was letting y'all talk.
Yeah, I would say we can move on from this horrible thing.
We could, but they're having fun.
Yeah, and
I wasn't aware it was back.
Yeah, I'm excited. What's the next thing on your list?
Has Jez seen Halo or Chapelwaite or Picard?
I've seen Chapelwaite. Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, we'll go to Chapelwaite next. What does Jez think of Chapelwaite?
Yeah, for me it's good. But he also saw Severance, by the way.
True. He could talk about that.
That show, fucking hell.
Could you catch up with the last? Have you seen every episode now, or just the 8 here? Is it out in England? The 9th episode?
I've seen them all, Cub. Yeah, down to that fucking hell of a cliffhanger of an ending. Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the last episode yet because it's not out here in Germany till now. But I have seen every episode till episode 8. So the one.
Cub, wait until you see that last episode, dude.
Yeah, I would say we can talk about it maybe on Wednesday when we both have seen them all.
Yeah, I've actually rewatched the entire series again.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a good series. It was my first recommendation today.
There's so many things when you watch it again on a second viewing. There's so many things you pick up on which you didn't realize at first.
Yeah. It's really one of these series which I can see even in my collection but I have to see the last episode before I decide.
Yeah. Holy shit, dude! What an episode that last one is.
So I would say let's go to Chip. What was the name? Chapelwaite. Wait.
With nose Brodian.
Yeah. Chapelwaite.
I call it Jerusalem's Lot because that was the original story name from Stephen King, and like you say, it's kind of a offshoot of Salem's Lot.
Yeah, because it
doesn't
play in Jerusalem's Lot. It plays in the neighbor town. And Chapelwaite is not the neighbor town. It's the.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's more identifiable as a Stephen King adaptation if you use the Jerusalem's Lot.
Yeah, Chapelwaite is
you're going to confuse your audience. Yeah, remember they're German.
Yeah, Chapelwaite is a house.
They're eating sausages and drinking beer. And they're happy.
And it is maybe a little bit confusing for people when it's an important.
Of course, it's confusing.
It's an important manor, Chapelwaite, but it is not the mention here from Salem Slot. It's not in Salem Slot. It's in another town. It's called.
Yeah, but what was the story from Stephen King called originally that this is based upon? Jerusalem's Lot, right?
Yeah, Jerusalem's Lot was the original
That's
title.
why I call it that.
It's all right, Maggie isn't listening.
No, the German title is
It's a German title. Oh my God!
No, it's letter.
Alien Invader.
No, the German title fits much better. It is letters.
Of course.
It is letters from Jerusalem's Lot.
That's a terrible title. That does not fit much better. What do you think, Kat? Does that fit much better?
I didn't
Kat?
get to see it.
I know, but you can take my word for it. Letters from Jerusalem's Lot.
So for starters, just let's talk a little bit about the short story. The short story, it's really short. It is you can listen to it for an hour, kind of. It's at 30 pages or something like that, and it is written in letter form, like the Dracula.
Story you can listen to it in under half an hour.
Yeah, or half an hour.
It's more like 15 minutes.
Yeah, but is it me who's missing the point of reading a book?
No, I need this comparison. No, I need this comparison that people get how much they added to the material, because the show goes over 10 hours. And so we have here 1 hour.
And you feel every moment of it.
Yeah, and so
But
you have
it's not a bad show.
It's not great, Greg.
Yeah, it's really not great, and I just wrote a
I
review
didn't
on
say
it.
it was great. I said it wasn't bad.
I just wrote a review on it, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So the
Oh my
story,
God, your review is probably longer than the original writing.
yes,
No,
it is.
it's not
It's
great.
three pages or something like that, because
my God.
many things to say about it, and it is my new Salem Slot review, but it comes out. It's the last review this year. It comes out end of December, so this is a
Damn.
lot. Yeah.
We're doing this now, and your review is in December.
Yes.
It's always been like this.
Yeah. But
Wow.
the thing is,
You said we needed to do it now.
no, I didn't. I didn't say we need to do it. I just said I had to watch it for my review.
You put it on the list.
Yeah, because I had to watch it, and I watched it.
These fucking
Okay.
Germans and the lists.
Yeah.
But if you'd waited, everybody could have saw it.
Hey, I'm German. We love our lists. You know that.
I know.
Yeah. Didn't you see Schindler's List?
Yeah, I did.
You do.
Yeah.
You guys love your lists.
Yeah, and Cub's list is as important. So this short story from King, just short. What is it about? It is about a guy who gets what you call it, when somebody dies in your family and you get
Inheritance.
yeah. He gets that, and his wife is dead, but he has a kind of butler or something like that. But he's also kind of befriended with him, somebody who works for him. And
The
these
black
two-
guy?
No, he doesn't. That's the thing. The TV series leaves that out. This guy, he and his friend, he or his butler or whatever, they go to this manor that they got because of death of family member, and they go there, and then they get visit here from vampire ancestors who have lived there before, from his father and his grandfather. And also they discover Salem's Lot, a town that was burned down, and where now vampires live and things like that. And the whole thing is, there is an important book which is called The Legend of the Worm. And with this book, they kind of get the worm to appear.
Well, it's
And
a satanic book that'll bring about the ending of the entire world and the coming of night.
Yeah, something like that. And it is not one book. There are 5 books, the same, by the way. And the book itself is not that important in the original story. It is more important that here this our main character, which is played by Adrian Brody in the TV series, he's the last of his kind, of his family. And as I said, the worm gets woken up at the end. This is the very end of the short story, and kills the butler. And after that, our main character decides he gets away with his life, but he decides to kill himself to end the bloodline, that this worm never gets waken up again. But he doesn't know that he has half brothers, which he doesn't know about. And then the story goes 120 years after that. In 1971, it continues, where
With Salem's Lot.
where somebody of his of the people from these half brothers here that he doesn't know about comes in and get into this manor, this house, this.
Well, I can
chapel
tell
room.
you from personal experience, the 70s were filled with vampires and Satanists.
Yeah. So the story ends 1971. As I said, 120 years after our main character kills himself because he thinks he's the last of his family, but he isn't. And it's just a kind of it's very short. So that's the original story. But here in the TV series, we don't have that. We have now this father with 3 kids. The wife dies. Like in the original story, it has a dead wife, but he hasn't a butler or a servant or something like that. He has these 3 annoying kids, 2 girls and a boy, between 10 and 14 or something like that, I think. And so that's the story of the TV series. And they make a big deal about this book. The TV series is all about this book. There's just one book, not like in the original story. There's just one book, and but I don't have to tell all this. You have also watched it, Greg, or not?
I did watch it, and I would like to say that at first it seemed like we were dealing with a sea captain who came back for his inheritance, and he was dealing with a hereditary mental illness. It took several episodes to get past that. His children were dealing with racism and discrimination. It was a very 2022 depiction. But when you got beyond that, it eventually turned into a vampire tale. Spooky, well acted, and written.
Yes.
The people of the time, a lot of the shows that are made nowadays, it feels like you have people from 2022 who just put on clothes from the 1800s, and yet they take today's sentiments or sensibilities back with them, and so it's unbelievable. Like when we were talking about our trial from the other show, Moon Knight, where they're talking about, oh, this is a safe space, and you're quite able to, give me your. No, people don't talk like that back then. But when you're watching this show, it's well acted. The people feel like they're in the time. If you can get past the first 3 or 4 episodes, but it gets interesting. You actually feel like the constable with his wife who becomes a vampire. I believe the acting. I believe the story.
You mean the overacting? First off,
yeah, it was overacting. But if you were in a vampire tale and people around you were turning into vampires, you might very well overact.
Yeah,
than what you normally would. And remember, these are Americans.
Yeah, but the thing the thing with his problem that he constantly is seeing worms. That is his illness.
Yeah, it's not an illness. It's caused by the book. At first, we think it's an illness.
Yes, but as I said, it is not in the original story. He doesn't have this
and
problem.
For these people, religion was very real. this is something I don't think translates well to European culture, British or German. The reality of religion was a day-to-day thing, and it's reflected well. When we look, what was the movie where they were, or the series where they were on an island and it was another vampire deal, and we talked about it previously.
Yeah, which was much better, by the way.
Right, but
it had
the
less
people,
episodes and was much better.
It was better, but the people who were they were very religiously overplayed. Now that was overacting. That was something that you wouldn't see in a church. But the acting here, the belief they had, the way they acted, the way the wife ended up murdering her husband, who was a preacher, because he had betrayed her with fornication.
But this was a waste of a character which died for no reason. Because
no, it wasn't for no reason. It was a totally valid reason to that woman.
Yeah, because he cheated on her. Yes,
because he cheated. Yes.
Yeah, but
and
they have vampires in the town. So please.
Yes, they had vampires. She didn't care about that.
Yeah,
she saw vampires before she murdered him. She saw how important it was that he go fight the vampires, and she didn't care because to her, you know, her betrayal of him was more important. She was already on. She was going to murder him and herself.
Yeah, but that makes her a terrible person because she.
Yes, it makes her a terrible person.
Also, all the others for death because now.
Did you hear why she did it? She said, "To be forgiven, I have to forgive." But she couldn't forgive him for that, so she knew she couldn't be forgiven. So she murdered him, and that's totally believable.
And that's the point of the weak writing of the show. Lines like that. It was so weak, that show was.
Yes, I agree on that, Jess. And also, as I said...
Before we go on a sec there, Cub, can I just interject? I need to go, gentlemen. And lady.
No!
I do
Man, it was great having you here, Doc.
I unfortunately have got chores to do, but it's been fun.
Hey, I'm glad you showed up. Show up again.
Catch you later, boss.
Yes.
Have a nice dream, and I shall see you all again later.
Bye, Doc.
Yeah. Bye, mate. As I said, all these things are made up. They have nothing to do with the original story. And also, what annoyed the hell out of me was we had this new character instead of the butler or the friend or whatever here from the original story. We had this woman that is keeping the children. She's a kind of replacement here for this butler character from the original
or for his
story.
wife.
Yeah, his wife.
He was an important character.
His wife didn't show up. Was also dead in the original.
She saved him several times.
Yeah. So as I said, and so we have these children and this woman.
I found her believable.
Yeah, it was okay, but it was not great. And also, as I said, they make a big deal out of this book. They say, oh, this book is connected to the Bones. That's the name of this family, or Boons, or whatever, because they wrote their name into the book, and that's why he has this illness.
Right.
And not just he has it; everybody has it in the family.
Well, they had to make it something hereditary, so they had to do that. That's a plot device. That's a plot device.
I know.
You should be able to recognize that by now.
Yeah, and so every man.
Plot devices are well written and some aren't.
Yeah, that's true.
So every man has this illness, and his father tries to kill the son. We see that in the flashback. It's how it starts out, the series. So we know that there is this illness. They see worms, and at the end of the season, we get the explanation why the father wanted to kill his son in the beginning, and he is fearing that he is going to hurt his children. That's the series also a main plot point of the series, and this book is so important. as I said in the original story, it isn't. There are even more than one. There are 5 copies of it or something like that. So it's not that important. You can buy it regularly. It's no problem. Yeah. And at the end, they don't. The worm doesn't.
In Germany, it probably has a comic book.
Yeah, and at the end, the worm doesn't appear. This was the best scene in the short story. It was
So the worm is unreliable. You should know that if you're a Satanist.
Yeah, but as I said, the thing is, the best thing in the short story was at the end when the worm appears. That was the coolest scene, and I was suffering through this TV series because I thought, okay, at least at the end I can see see the monster, but they don't do that. They interrupt the procedure and the worm doesn't show up, and also they changed the ending that now thanks to one of his daughters that are also not in the short story, he becomes also a vampire, our lead.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, and so
It was a very strange ending. So did I read it right? Did he get the book sewn into him, and then he goes off onto the sea? How does that protect the book?
Yeah, because he goes up in flames when sun comes up.
But we already been shown that even putting the book in the fire doesn't destroy it.
Yeah,
so
and
it would
also-
just float to the nearest shore, right?
Yeah, and also the book is not a threat at all because the vampires can't get it.
Well, you remember where he found
humans-
it?
Just humans can detect it. Just
Well,
a
not only
human
that,
bone.
but where it was originally
Yes.
buried was in a church graveyard, which the vampires couldn't enter. So they had
Yes.
no way of detecting it or retrieving it.
Yes, it would be fine just to let it there, and just when he wants to kill himself, he can kill himself, and that's it. Like in the
Why
original
kill
story.
himself at all?
Yeah, probably he doesn't have to because now he knows why the hell he has these visions.
So the ending made no sense. I agree with that.
Yeah, make it short and quick, I guess. And as I said, they added so much material to the story, and it is just padding. Like Jess said, it is you have to sit through that and struggle through that, and it is not horrible or awful. I was just kind of bored, and I was glad when it was over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bored is a very appropriate review of that show. It's just boring and so simplistic. This
Yeah.
leads to this. This leads to this. It
Yeah.
treated the audience like morons.
Do you think it was superior to the Salem Blot show of the 70s?
No.
Nowhere near.
No way.
Nowhere near. Oh, Cub,
No.
this reminds me, Cub, before I forget, a new TV show. The Man Who Fell to Earth, as in the Nicholas Rogue movie.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. The first episode is out. I haven't watched it yet, but yes.
Yeah, I try to watch it, but till Wednesday when I can get squitch it in because I have so much to do. I'm editing right now the speed review for next Wednesday. Not this Wednesday. This Wednesday Runaway Train, but after that speed, and I'm still haven't edited it yet. So
The best review I have ever read of a movie was for Speed 2. And
Yeah.
all it said was, this time it's on a boat. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, exactly my review on it. It's this time it's on a boat.
Coder's asking the man in what? What was the title again?
Yeah, The Man Who Fell to Earth.
The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah.
The Nicholas Rogue film with David Bowie in. Yes,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a TV adaptation, and the first episode is out. I have no idea what network it's on.
Yeah, but there
Ah.
is already a remake of it. Was a few 20 years ago, I think.
Was
Yeah, The Man Who Fell from the Sky or to Earth or some. Germany, they have similar titles, kind of.
Yes, I know what you're on about.
Yeah. And yeah, I watched it. I thought was okay, but I can't remember much of it. I have to say. So it's a really long time ago. So yeah, so much for this Chapel thing. I wouldn't
The man who
recommend it.
fell to
Neither
Yeah,
would I. It's
yeah.
it's a thumbs down from me too.
Yeah.
Okay, the next
because-
one is something that I think we've all seen. Do you remember Pelham, the taking of Pelham 123 from 1973, Jez?
Yeah, man, Walter Matthau.
Yeah, and Robert Shaw.
Yeah, fucking excellent.
This is my zeitgeist pick
The remake
because
is fucking terrible.
I think it reflects the zeitgeist of the early 70s in New York.
Yeah, and has Cat seen it too?
Yes, I think Kat has
Oh,
seen it
yeah.
as well.
I really
So we're
enjoyed
gonna-
it.
We're going to hear from Kat first and then go around the table. What do
Yeah,
you think
okay.
of Pelham 123,
Oh.
Kat?
That was a really good movie. I had never heard of it. I had never seen it before you'd give me the title, and I was like, okay. Well, I watched it and I liked it. I really liked it. I could watch it again.
You didn't watch the terrible remake, did you?
No, I watched 1973 version.
Which
Yeah.
terrible remake? There were two. It was also a TV movie remake in
Was
the
it?
90s. Yeah,
Yeah, well.
which was also awful.
There was the original, and that's all we're dealing with. And that was a good movie. It had Walter
Yeah.
Matthau and Robert Shaw. And one of the things about it, if you noticed from Reservoir Dogs, where they have Mr. Black and Mr. Pink and all that, they used that originally. The only place I've seen that was in this movie, Pelham.
I totally agree, Greg. That's got to be where the inspiration came from.
Yeah, and by the way, it is based on a book which was a best-selling book, which is also called Pelham 123. Yes, I would say do we go on, or do we have anything to say more about Pelham?
Oh yeah, well, I think it's a very interesting movie by Robert Shaw, and if you notice the time period, this shows New York at a time when everything's breaking down. You have like the garbage strike going on, which they don't really talk about, but when they show the exterior shots of New York City, you can see the garbage mounded up. Times Square was where they showed X-rated movies at the time.
All along 42nd Street and shit like that, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you visited New York during this time, you would have been the stench. There was a heroin addiction going on. People were being robbed in the street. Now these were people.
What New York was like in the 70s.
Now this is a very early 70s. So these people had grown up. These is like Ward Cleaver and Beaver Cleaver going to New York and suddenly getting hit in the face with what America had become. And America at that time, we were in the midst of the Vietnam War. We had Watergate. We had just that means the political reality was crumbling. People couldn't trust their president. People didn't believe in their army, which had never lost a war up until that point. People didn't believe in the police force. They were starting to see that the police were beating people, and you had just like a few years before had the Miranda rights come in, because it was standard procedure to take you into a police station, put you under a hot light, and beat you until you confess. That's how they did it back then.
And by the way, the reason why we even talk about Pelham is I included it in my new version of this speed review, because there are clearly similarities. Even in Speed itself, you have this premise that some hijacker whatever, he in Speed you have this bomb on the bus, but in Pelham you have also this time limit where they say we have taken Pelham 123 and now
they're going to start murdering people and throwing them out.
We are going.
And Cub believes that, but I was going to jam this in under my zeitgeist, no matter what happens.
And the thing is, even in Speed, we have a scene like in Pelham, because Speed ends. It starts with an elevator. The whole movie is about the bus, but it ends in the here what you call it underground station.
That's true.
Yeah, because the last thing when they have this chase and so on, they take over here something like Pelham, and also this goes out of control and can't be stopped and so on.
Well, the cold-blooded nature of Robert Shaw in this
Mhm.
movie really was a forerunner or a foreshadow to what we were going to see in the future. And Walter Matthau, I thought this was one of his greatest movies. He was really good in it. And you know, one person who never gets mentioned is Jerry Stiller. You see him as the father in King of Queens, but this is one of his great movies.
Yes, and he's the father of
Jerry
Ben
Stiller,
Stiller.
was it?
And
Yes,
yes,
but he was a good actor in his own right, who rarely got a great role.
yeah. This is one really a precious jewel from the 70s, which I watched so many times. I think I watched it at least 5-6 times or something like that when it came on TV as a
It's
child.
very watchable. From the very
Mhm.
beginning to the very end, when Walter Matthau catches the last, I forget his name, but another good character actor, and he has a cold, and he sneezes, and he's going just house to house to house of every possible suspect, and when he sneezes, that's how he catches him.
Oh my
Uh,
God! He was
Yeah,
discovered
Corona.
by Corona. Oh my God! Thanks for the tip. Now I'm changing my review into a COVID 1984 video.
Oh,
Yeah.
But one of the little minor things that you might not have noticed, remember the Japanese tourists who were really like from Japan, and they were about to build this wonderful Japanese rail system, which is the most modern and amazing thing you've ever seen. But they're coming to look at New York City, and they're coming during this time of great crisis and the taking of a subway train. And I would really love a movie just about these Japanese guys coming to this place. And it would be such a good movie because they're so advanced. They're way more advanced than these stupid Americans. And they look at this rat-filled, totally garbage encrusted disaster of a railway system, and they're supposed to be learning from us. And
Yeah.
Walter Matthau makes a comment at one point, and they respond to him in English, and he's like, you can see from his expression, he realizes how backward we are compared to them. But you know, we're Americans, so we just push through.
Yeah, and that's my main criticism here when it comes to the Pelham review in my speed review. When I compare it to the new version here from Ridley Scott, uh, it this the original story is so has so many layers here with this.
Yeah.
Like you said, you have this 70s New York and so on, what is going on there, and also here this thing here with the Japanese, which are more advanced and so on.
And
And
not only that, the mayor, who's like a typical New York mayor, and you can sense the politics, the New York politics going on, and
yeah,
trying to get it's just like you say, multi-layered.
yeah, you have this sarcasm in there in this original story, and this is all completely left out in the new version from Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott just treat this is like an action flick with cuts and so on that distract you from the fact that they have not really an entertaining story, because also they have inserted here this stock change market thing and so on here, John Travolta and yeah, these little things are gone in the new version. So I don't recommend the new version at all. Stay away from it. It sucks. And the original,
Yeah, I
yeah,
wasn't even going to mention it. Now,
no,
because you mentioned it, people are going to go look at it. You know how that is.
They don't have to really. They just have to watch the trailer, and the trailer is so annoying, like the movie itself. It's fast cuts and so on, just to pretend that there's action.
Well, all four of us recommended the movie, and
Yeah.
Jez did before he disappeared. I think we've lost Jez.
Oh, maybe he got hijacked.
He did get hijacked. He was on a freaking New York subway train.
Yeah, probably.
I did not recommend that.
No, this is the British version here from Pelham, probably.
Well, it said free Wi-Fi, and that drew him in.
Yeah. So I would say so much about Pelham. Should we go on?
I think we have to. I mean, unless you want to end the stream, we have to go on. We only have a couple of things left.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, we have Halo, the Halo series.
Yeah, this one we can really keep short, I would say, or not.
I think so. I don't think Cat even got to see it.
No, I don't have Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's why I put it in. I don't have it, but my brother does, and so I do.
Yeah, so please, Greg, tell us everything about this complex story of Halo, the TV series.
Okay, episode 1. You start out with some interesting characters. You've got a planet with you've got an old guy playing poker. You've got the older Japanese guy. You've got the kids going off to eat something like mushrooms or something. But unfortunately, they're attacked by some kind of alien creatures who slaughter everyone. The only one who survives is this really snarky teenage girl.
Yeah, the main
main
character, yeah.
And she becomes the main character. And what's sad is they had several other great characters in there who would have really been good in a series, and they got rid of them. And then, okay, they have a good battle scene. And I've watched like 5 episodes, and this is the only good battle scene at the very beginning. And this is Halo, which is based on a video game with lots of action and battles. And, you know, it wasn't even that great, but it was the only battle you get for a long time until the end of the 5th episode. But, okay, they rescue this one girl, and she is not interested in revenge. She doesn't care about warning people. She's, you know, just likes to take shots at the people who rescued her for some reason, which is very 2022. You know, I mean, I wouldn't even have bothered to rescue her if I was these people, because I already know what's going to happen. I already know how she's going to be. But you got to do your best. And the people who are running the place, we find out they want to use artificial intelligence to. It's kind of like Alexa, if you have the Alexa thing, but
it's much more annoying, yeah. Huh? Greg? Oh, I think he has audio issues. So yeah, as Greg already said, it's like Alexa. There is the female scientist who makes an AI out of her mind and consciousness or something like that, and wants to implement it in all the soldiers. And our main character kind of is a soldier that goes against orders. It's the Master Chief or whatever, because he has his visions and oh god. And
okay, so they have can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have 2 different types. They've got the regular Marines, and then they've got the Spartans. And the Spartans are the only ones who can really defeat whatever these monsters are. And they're going to mess with these few Spartans they have by overlaying them with this weird artificial intelligence, which is some genetic copy of the lead scientist. Doesn't make any sense at all, but that's what they're going with.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But you also have he removes the. They have what would you call it? Some sort of capsule which keeps them from experiencing any emotions and lets them be more effective in combat. He removes that, and this blonde underling, I don't know, a corporal. He's a master chief, and she's under him. Anyway, she removes hers. But when it comes to the fifth episode, you finally have a second battle. She completely freezes up and causes a lot of people to get killed, and then he has to go over and rescue her. It's ridiculous.
And don't forget, he goes on his disobeys orders.
And she does too. Remember, he takes her off of duty.
First off, he's teamed up with this annoying girl that he has rescued, and then he disobeys orders and to bring her to a friend or something like that. And
did that friend kind of remind you of Lando? How he had his own little city or whatever?
Yeah. You remember kind of discount Lando?
He was black. He had his own city. He somehow, was a Spartan who got away from him.
Yeah. So he leaves her there. Then he goes back and is again after orders. Before that, he went his own way, kind of rogue or whatever, what you want to call it. But it was just that you get this girl to this Lando guy or whatever.
And the girl gets the Lando guy to go visit her aunt and stuff, and she gets everybody killed. Everywhere she goes, she gets everybody killed. And yet she survives.
And she's so unlikable.
Yes, she's very unlikable. I wouldn't stand to be around her.
Yeah. The casting was really ridiculous with this one. At least take somebody who looks nice or who is nice from a character.
Or I think her writing just does her in, because they write her as this totally unlikable person.
Yeah, but if you have somebody who looks like shit and is also unlikable as a character,
and everything she does is so narcissistic, it's all about her, and everybody around her gets killed because of her, and she doesn't acknowledge that. She's like, oh well.
And also, I can't stand it when you have a child character that constantly pretends that it is an adult character. She knows everything better and so on, and has this smugness or what you call it, because it has to go like she wants. She's just a spoiled child whatsoever, and everything has to go like she wants. She wants this, she wants that, she wants to go there.
Oh yeah, it's a 2022 teenage girl. Yeah, and that's how it's written. And of course, she's pampered and prodded the whole way. Coder has a good point in the chat. He's talking about how, remember at the very beginning, first episode, they have all these weapons pointed at these, whatever, the alien enemy. And when they come through, not one person kills one of them, even though they're firing very similar weapons. The Spartans, they're just using pistols and shooting them in the head. And yet, all these guys who are so, great,
but what
they can't kill even one. They don't even injure.
Yeah, but Greg, what Köter means exactly is the Spartan takes the same weapon that the father here of this.
The machine
takes. The machine gun,
and he kills several at once.
Yeah.
But when the father fires it, it has no effect. And for some reason, he's got somebody driving him around who turns the weapon on its side. That's how he gets. Why are they even trying to drive that truck around? What tactical advantage do you get in a tiny little compound by gunning the motor? That doesn't give you any advantage. That merely moves the machine gun around. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's right. I saw that as well.
Yeah. So we have this convoluted plot where they try to get artifacts. They think because one of the artifacts is the reason here our Master Chief whatsoever touches it and has these visions from his past, his memories or something like that get reactivated where he was a child.
Yeah, that's kind of like how Cub lives. Every time you touch like a knife, you get memories from the past. So that's believable.
Yes, something like that. But then our main character here, the Spartan whatsoever Master Chief, he discovers that there are two artifacts. They thought at first it was just one, but now there are two, and they have to stick together or something like that, and then you get whatever. And yeah.
Oh, you remember that they lose the second one, and why do they lose it? Remember, the Master Chief removes his emotion repressing. I don't know what you call it. The thing he digs out of his back.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the girl, the blonde girl, who's like the corporal, she sees him doing that, and so she digs hers out of the back, and she's perfectly fine. She's happy. But
yeah, and don't forget, she watches him in the bathroom where he's completely naked.
Yeah. Well, that's what girls do.
Yeah. It's okay if a girl does that. That's okay.
No, that would be bad if it was a guy doing it.
Yeah.
This is the future, and that you know. But okay, she watches that, and then she's like, "I'm going to do that too." But remember, when she gets into battle, she completely freezes up because she can't handle seeing people die for whatever reason because her emotions are too strong, which doesn't make sense. This is a battle girl. She's been through hell. I don't think she would. I mean, we're talking, she's not even able to lift her gun and shoot one time. Nothing. And he has to abandon the mission, go over and save her, even though she's caused the death of dozens of Marines. To me, that was ridiculous. If she had an order to stand down, she refused to do it. She freezes in combat and causes the aliens to win back the item. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Put it this way, it's
unbelievable.
It's soldiers. They wouldn't go after orders or even kill people or whatever if they are not programmed like robots. But
and they want to make them more like robots to put an actual artificial intelligence over them, which would just delay their actions. Now we're talking combat. We're talking split-second decisions. There's no time for artificial intelligence to overlay to make you a little better. I don't see it as logical.
Yeah, this all what we have said till now is just also boring, not really interesting. I think
of course it's boring. You assigned it to us.
Yeah, it's not.
And Kat very wisely chose not to watch it.
Yeah, it's not well made. And also, I haven't played the Halo games, but
I haven't either.
But after seeing
that, Kat has played the Halo game, and she's
Halo
heard what we've
Halo
had to.
2.
Okay, so what do you think about from what we've said about it? What do you think how it compares to the game?
There's really no comparison, in my opinion, because the description that he was given of the girl and all that, and I'm like, and nobody in a suit on that game would be acting like that at all.
So they wouldn't just
battle trained, No, God no.
Yeah.
That's not how it is in the game at all.
You want to tell us that there is not an annoying little girl in the game that constantly goes on your nerves?
If there is, I don't remember it. I just remember playing Master Chief, and I remember the Horde and things like that. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played it. Probably about 2008.
So there was a lot of action.
Yeah, yeah. That's what the game is. It's all action.
Yeah, well, the series is
anything.
The series is very little action.
Yeah, if the game is anything like a TV series, then I wouldn't play it at all.
Yeah. They don't sound anything alike, really. It doesn't even sound like the show would be worth watching.
No, it's not. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, really. I don't know even if I really going to sit through the next episodes, because I'm so not interested what is going on in this universe. I don't care. Really, it doesn't make any sense at all, and there's not so much action, and you have constantly these annoying characters. especially all the women in the show are annoying as fuck. You have this.
Yeah, they're unlikable. They're not
Yeah.
like any women I've ever known.
Yeah. You have this AI thing, which looks horrible. Really, the CGI on that one is.
I don't think they know how to write women or
Yeah.
men, but
Yeah.
especially women. They write them as I don't know what. I can't even describe it.
Yeah, and you have the scientist woman that I can't stand either because she's also she's
Narcissist.
doing horrible things the whole time, making
It's not.
experiments.
She's narcissist, and she doesn't care that she's about to destroy all of humanity by like. Okay, she's gonna put an AI overlay over the only people who are able to fight these enemies. And that's
Yeah.
not a concern to her.
And don't forget, we have the boss lady here from the other side, the enemy.
Oh yeah, she's terrible too. And of course, you notice that they have her daughter. You know, you have the boss lady, and of course, it's always their daughter who's in some key position. And
Yeah.
and they're both making terrible decisions that would cause humanity to be destroyed. And it's not about that. It's about how their personal relationships are. And I'm sorry, you know, I don't care about their personal relationships if we're talking about keeping us safe from terrible enemies who can just slaughter us.
Yeah. So really, there's nothing to recommend here.
Nothing to recommend.
Stay away from it, and we are also going to stay away from it and go to the next thing, I would say.
Okay, you put on something called Everywhere All at Once. Did you get a chance to see it, Kat?
No, you didn't give me that one.
I thought I did. Okay, did you get a chance to see it, Cub?
Yes, I did. And it is.
What's it about?
So it is a little bit complicated, but not that much. It's a Chinese movie or something like that, and we have our main character is a woman that kind of she has the ability to travel through other realities.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the thing is, what is meant with the title? The title, first off, it is an art movie. It is not this usual story that you get. It is really they really put much thought into it, and it is an experimental kind of thing. But it is a one that they managed to do. It's good. It's a very good movie. It gets for me a recommendation again, because this woman on this reality, she has started many things, and we see her when she has to pay here taxes here in the tax department, what you call it, because she has started many jobs. But never finished anything. So she is kind of a loser in her life. She has started cooking, she has started painting, she has started but never could manage any of these things. And now when it comes to the tax returns or whatever, she tries to explain that to the officer here, tax officer, what you call them. IRS or whatever. Yeah, and then that's how the movie starts. But during this conversation with the with the IRS, her husband takes her by side. She's there with her husband and with her grandfather, who is in a wheelchair. The grandfather. And so he takes her to the side and explains to her this more than one reality thing. There are many different versions of her in alternate universes. where in one she is a famous star and can sing. In one she has done that. In one she's just a stone. It's a crazy movie. It's a complete crazy movie. And you see that in a kind of Matrix style. Because her first, you think that her husband has invented this technology that you can jump from one reality to another, but then it turns out that she was that and just told him that in another reality, and he's searching for the one version of her who can save the universe from a big threat, which is her daughter from another reality, and this is really, the whole movie is it sounds complicated, but it's just fun to watch it. Because
my daughter from another reality is always giving me problems.
Yeah, but because for example, the husband, you think that he is the guy who invented this technology that she can jump from one reality to another, but then you get it that he's not the inventor. He's just she was the inventor, but told him how to use it and things like that. And for example, they have a fight in the IRS department.
Bad place to have a fight.
Yeah, because another reality kicks in and turns the IRS officer here, the woman, into a monster, which kills everybody. And so they get the police to and show when she defends herself, it's again the normal reality, and so they get the police to arrest her. And to get this police thing done, the husband goes to another reality from himself, where he can fight kung fu. So he learns kung fu in a few seconds, kind of.
Man, I need to do that.
Yeah, and then you see this fight from him against the officers in Matrix style. So Bruce Lee Matrix style. It's just hilarious. As I said, it is hard to describe for me in English. In Germany, I could describe it.
Well, describe it in German.
Yeah,
I think Kat speaks German.
Yeah, I could describe it much easier because, as I said, it has a kind of...
do it. It'll only take you 30 seconds.
No, it has a complicated premise a little bit, but it's...
You're afraid to do it. All right.
For me, it is For me, this is the real Matrix Part 4. It is
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is much better than...
Well, now I want to watch it.
It is a very entertaining...
And this is out at the movies right now, right? At the theater?
Yeah. This is...
this is another recommendation from Cub? What is that, like 4 recommendations in one show? Is that even allowed in Germany?
Yeah, really. Maybe I caught Omicron or something like that.
And I think you did.
I have just a few days to live, and now I'm recommending some things.
Oh my God, I forgot to do our news segment. That's coming next, I guess.
Yeah, but as I said, the less you know about the movie, the better. Because
I know nothing. How about you, Kat?
Yeah, because
only what he's talked about.
Yeah, because
that's the better.
It is so great when you have no clue what is coming next.
That's how I live.
And it is just crazy. This movie is just completely crazy.
All right, I'm going to go watch it. And if I don't like it, I'm going to blame Cub.
Yeah, it's really this movie is the secret tip for this year for foreign movies here, like with Parasite.
Okay, you're in Germany, so if it's American, that's a foreign movie. Or is it foreign for us?
Yeah, because it is in English, but it's also in Chinese.
It's a Chinese movie?
No, I think it's an American movie made by Chinese people, I think.
Chinaman.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. As I said, it is not this regular movie that you have normally. It is more of an art movie. For example, everything, everywhere, all at once. The title of the movie appears during the movie till the last part. All at once, you get at the very end and it makes sense in the context of the movie. And there are many other things like that in the movie itself. It is very unusual made. Also, the music choices and so on, and how it's edited and so on. As I said, this is just the thing you have to see. It loses when you try to describe it.
It's fading even now.
Yeah. So as I said, high recommendation from me.
Okay, so I guess we're going to move to current events, and Kat is going to tell us about what's happening in America.
Well, I haven't really been paying attention because I've been busy, and so I really don't know what's going on in America right now. I know there's
so it's basically situation normal, inflation, stuff like that.
Yeah, but
everything's really high priced.
Yeah, but I have heard you have lost your masts there from that governor or whatever said made these masts on planes or in general.
No, it's not the governor. That's a federal judge ruled that masks on planes, trains, and whatnot are knocked down. And then President Biden said people should wear them if they want to and not if they don't. And then he decided to fight it with his Department of Justice, which makes no sense.
Yeah, so he uses taxpayer money to work against the taxpayers.
Yeah, that's normal. That's what they do. Oh, and Disney decided to get involved in politics and got all their special privileges stripped away. They used to have, you know how in Italy, the Pope has like a special protectorate, and they can pass their own laws and do whatever they want in the Vatican. Well, Disney had that same right. They weren't subject to taxes, or they could do their own laws and whatever they wanted, but they lost all that because they decided to get involved in local politics. So that's our update.
Yeah, and
that's going to cost them billions.
Yeah, I have to write here something down. Scholz macht Wahlwerbung.
Yeah, you should be writing this all in German. You're muttering in German now. That's good.
Für Macron. So
Macron. Oh, we've got the election going in France. With Le Pen is against Macron. Who are you for in that, Cub?
Le Pen, of course. Why should I be for Macron? Le Pen at least wants to leave the EU, which would be a great thing. So everybody who wants to do that, I'm cool.
So France could leave the EU?
Yeah, no, it is going to go down. It's today, by the way. And
would Germany allow that? Wouldn't y'all
I'm pretty sure it goes down like with Trump.
I know it's today. It's Sunday, right?
Le Pen is going to win, but Macron stays in office. It's the same thing like with Trump and Biden. They are going to steal the election.
Oh, they're going to steal the election.
Yeah,
we've seen that.
And the one thing I want to, if we're talking about that, the thing that I wrote down for my German stream is
this is your German stream too, isn't it? Your Germans who speak English.
Oh, wait a second.
You're confused now.
Yeah. No, I'm going to do a German stream on Friday, and
that'll be awesome. You should show up to those, Cat. They need you so badly.
What?
Yeah, and the thing
German stream.
Our chancellor made the first time ever that this thing was done by a chancellor here, a German chancellor. He made a recommendation for one candidate of a different country, for Macron. He talked to the French people to tell them who to vote for. not too
now
cold.
weren't the Germans against Trump as well though?
Yeah,
I
no.
remember them that happened
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
They were in favor of Hillary, and then
Yes, I know, but never before a chancellor write out a Bundeskanzler, a chancellor, write out, spoke to the people in a different country to tell them who to elect next election. That has never ever happened before. This is, and because they are not allowed to. They are not allowed to go.
but he did it anyway.
But he did it. He did it for Macron. So because nobody gives a fuck on the law here in Germany anymore, they
Man.
break the law every day with actions like that. And also, something crazy also happened. You know, we have this Ukraine Russia thing going on
Yeah.
here, and the thing is, Germany is all for Ukraine, because for the Nazis there, and here are also Nazis, so these are their brothers kind of, and so they are all for Ukraine, and but even now they want to send them weapons and so on, and heavy weapons. So so involving Germany in the war, that Germany gets destroyed. That's their goal. That's what they are going for. And the thing is, this goes not even far enough for their allies, for the Brits. So the Germans make restrictions on the oil and gas here from Russia, even if we are dependent on it.
Y'all definitely depend on it. It'll cripple
Yeah.
your economy.
But
won't
it-
even be able to heat your house.
Yeah, but this doesn't go Britain fast enough.
You know, they pay
And
like 10 times
so
as much.
they want to make restrictions against Germany because we are still using Russian gas and
Oh
oil.
yeah, they're talking about sanctioning Germany.
Sanctioning
Germans are bad.
Germany.
What?
So Germany is already sanctioning and whatever, and does everything.
But it's not enough. It's not
But
enough.
it's not even enough, and so this is the most crazy situation
They got your attention, didn't it?
ever, or not?
It
But-
is. It's crazy. You're an ally. We can't
Yeah.
sanction an ally because they refuse to cripple their economy.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we're talking about the Germans would freeze without. We're trying to ramp up production and facilities. You know who's going to save your butts is going to be Texas.
Yeah,
And we're the
Greg-
ones who's going to have to ship you our natural gas. You know what Greg used to do? Greg used to go out there on the offshore on these oil rigs and gas rigs so that we could drill these deals, which y'all didn't want because it's against the environment, and y'all desperately need now because you don't want the Russian gas and oil, and
we want
everybody's going to
it.
hate
Our
you.
politicians don't want it. We
I
want
know,
it.
but
people want
wouldn't Texas oil and gas isn't tainted, and y'all could have spent just a few dollars and had all that you wanted, but you didn't want. You wanted Russian stuff because it was 10 cents cheaper or something.
Yes, yes, the good stuff.
Yeah,
comes
you
from
should have
Russia.
trusted Texas. You should have trusted Texas. Just called me, I would have hooked you up.
Yeah, I know. And just
I'm telling
one
you,
thing.
that's all true.
No, just one thing I'm going to mention
Mhm.
with the news section, because all the news are all about Britain, as you can hear. In
Yes.
Britain, a university banned George Orwell's 1984 book because
Yeah.
it's too offensive.
Yeah.
So
Have you ever read 1984, Kat?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So it's kind of predicting the stuff that we're seeing now. If
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
read it, you know it.
Yeah, I know it.
So 1984, a book about censorship and
Yeah.
about a dictatorship, is now banned officially in one university in
By the
Britain,
British, though.
By the
You
British,
gotta- It's very
Yeah.
predictable.
yeah, by the British. It's censored, and they say because it's too offensive and things like that.
The next thing, the British are going to be burning the book, and the Germans are going to be pointing at them. Yeah, isn't that kind of ironic?
Yeah. This is just crazy. What is going on right now is crazy. You can't describe it as this is not normal. But that's the last thing.
But we're allowed to point it out, so that's good.
Yeah. And
yeah, you're right. It is good. There's still YouTube. There's still the freedom of expression. You could see that Doc was amazed that you were able to say this stuff. But, they do let us say stuff, at least for now.
Yeah, I had here on the weekend, I had a discussion with some, not politicians, but people who make the advertisement for politicians on the street. We have here, I told you we have this town party or whatever here, spring party I told you about. And so there was some election here advertisement thing. These people who say, here, you have to, don't you want to vote for this and this party? And I had a discussion because I was on my protest Saturday here in my hometown, and it was directly on this here village party thing, and I had some discussions with them, from our two biggest parties here, from CDU and SPD, where the CDU was the party that brought in Corona thing. And the SPD, the opposition back then, but now is in the government, continues this Corona thing. So both are assholes and just working against the people. And I told them that on these assholes. I told them, you are working for this dictatorship, for the regime where we have censorship. People.
Do you have any party that's making sense over there?
Yes, our Nazi party, they call it that.
What is it for Germany?
Yeah, Alternative for Germany.
Alternative for Germany. Yeah, yes, I've heard of them. The fact that they put them down so much, I haven't seen anything that looks like Nazi stuff.
Yeah,
They're
because if there would be a Nazi party, it would be banned anyway. It's not allowed.
Yeah, it would be banned. It's just basically like Trump saying, "Hey, we need to look after ourselves. Let's not be stupid." That's all it seems to be. And if you look back at what Trump was telling you a few years ago, that you needed to increase your defense to 2%, and you needed to drill for oil and gas, and if you'd listened to Trump right now, you wouldn't be in this hole you're in. I know you hate him, not you, but Germany as a whole didn't like him. But if you'd listened to him, you would have been in a lot better spot than you are now.
Yeah, I agree on that. And we have 5 parties here in Germany, 5 big ones, and 4 of them are working together. They're all for this lockdowns and so on.
No, well, then you need to vote for that 5th party, that's probably the alternative for Germany.
The 5th party is the one that the other ones.
That's the alternative. Yes, I got
it. The other ones constantly are calling the Nazi party.
I got it. I've looked into German politics, and it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. Y'all people,
they're breaking the law. How they treat this party, because it's a democratically elected party, and it's the only one, by the way, who is voting the last years constantly against the restrictions. This party voted against the lockdowns. This party voted against the.
At least you have somebody. You can put forward.
Yeah, mandatory vaccinations. It's the only party that completely voted against it. The other ones. They voted for it, but with the mandatory vaccinations, now the big party, which...
And you're saying the vaccination hurt, who was our boy from Die Hard?
Yes, Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
he got...
you think that actually affected him adversely?
Yes, that is what I have heard. I have heard that the reason why he got ill so quick was because he got vaccinated 2 times, I think, because they don't talk openly about that, but it is kind of like an open secret. And
Well, that's not good.
yeah,
And we definitely don't need to, vaccinate our hot chicks if it's going to hurt them.
yeah, it's sad.
It is sad.
So we never get a Die Hard 6.
No, it
That
doesn't look like it.
No, yeah. So yeah.
Okay, we're down to just Picard and movie trailers, and then we're done.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of.
Unless you have something else.
Yeah, I have something else. You
Okay,
forgot completely or overlooked completely the movie that you make me watch. Nobody. Also.
Oh, right. Well, we can always do that next time.
Yeah, and also
I didn't have that on the list. You're right. I did have it on the list.
This stupid Harry Potter movie. Yeah, fantastic.
I didn't make you watch Harry Potter.
No, I made you watch Harry Potter.
I didn't watch it. So
awful.
we can always table those for the next time.
Yeah. It's awful anyway. We don't have to talk about because.
But the Nobody movie was pretty good. But Kat hadn't had a chance to see it.
Yeah, Nobody. I would say it's kind of like John Wick. I would say it's in the same vein or something like that.
Right.
And it's also about a former cleaner. Because when I watched it, I thought, oh, it's a little bit like John Wick, but both this one and John Wick I think, are just American versions of Leon here, the professional.
The Professional. Have you ever seen The Professional, Kat?
Yeah, I would say that there are a what if scenario because Leon the Professional ends badly for our main for Leon.
Does it? I mean, he dies, but he dies. The type of life he lived, he was always going to die badly.
Yes. But the thing is, in these American versions, like John Wick and here Nobody, we see a what if story. What if they could get past that life and live a normal life? So it's the happy ending.
Americans. You know how we are. We try to look at things positively.
Yeah. So
if you do everything perfect, there's a chance you could maybe survive and get past it. We know that's not going to happen, but we like to believe that it could. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I would say you can compare it here like Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven. You have the Seven Samurai. You have this gritty original version, which is very depressing. And then you have this shiny American version where everything is.
We should do a discussion on the Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven and stuff with Kat. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's watched them yet. Have you seen those?
I've seen the Magnificent Seven.
Okay, well that's based on the Seven Samurai, a Japanese samurai type movie from the 50s, right?
Yeah, and also we have a horrible remake. Don't forget that, which I didn't watch till now, from Magnificent Seven.
Oh yeah, well there were a lot of additional Magnificent Seven movies, but we just go with the original Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven. It would be an interesting discussion, but we'll table that for another time. We still have to move on to Picard and movie trailers. Do you want to do movie trailers first, or do you want to do Picard?
I can't because I couldn't watch any. I completely forgot.
Why did you assign it to me and forget it?
Yeah, because I have a hangover from yesterday.
That's right. I didn't tell you, Kat. He got drunk at some spring fling thing. He got totally wasted.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to prepare. He gave me this assignment, and then he went out and got drunk.
No.
And then he invited a bunch of Brits.
No, today I didn't give it to you yesterday. Today, I just forgot.
It was today.
Yeah, I just forgot that short trailers. I wanted to look into them myself, but then as I said, I continued editing my speed review and completely forgot that I wanted to watch the trailers. So
And you could have done that like 30 minutes before the show, and I reminded you then, and you still forgot. With quotation
I
marks.
just forgot. I just kind of forgot. And so yeah.
Well, you forced me to watch Picard, so we're gonna cover this stupid thing.
Yeah, tell us everything about your favorite Star Trek series, Picard, Greg.
Okay. We've got an old and feeble Picard, and he seems like he's 10 years older than he was last year. He's fixated on his mother, and he's like 90 years old, so it's really
97.
weird. Yeah, 97, but I mean, he's really old. He gives a speech in the first episode. We see him at Starfleet Academy. Now, one thing I'll say about this year's Picard, last year they totally disrespected him, and they had all these curse words and stuff, and they were like, it was so un-Star Trek.
Yeah, but he's still put down by every woman he crosses his way.
Oh, yeah, every woman he crosses his path makes him into like a slug that they squish beneath their feet. But it's not as bad as last year. You know, last year they actually anyway.
Last year they even killed him and made a robot out of it.
Yes, they killed him and made a robot. But you remember that this year they're trying to be more respectful. They make him into it. I'm just reporting what I saw. Now they're not actually respectful, but superficially they are. And he gives, like, he's invited to give a speech at, I guess he's even the head of, Starfleet Academy? Because he talks about redoing the Kobayashi Maru. Now, isn't that kind of disrespectful? What are you going to redo? I want to hear how you're going to redo the Kobayashi Maru.
But don't you understand? It is a situation where there is no way out and you lose a crew member. But of course, now they're going to redo it because that's not fair. And
that's the only thing it can do.
Yeah, that the people get the chance to save a crew member. So it makes this test
not just that. You're not just a crew member. You lose the ships you're trying to save. You lose your own ship. You are destroyed. That's the point of it. Is you have to face your own defeat.
Yeah, you have to face death.
But do you think modern kids can face their own defeat? No, and they certainly can't blame themselves, and they can't have a no-win scenario. So he's going to change that, and he gives a speech at Starfleet Academy. And what is his one big thing? Oh, there are Romulans, full-blooded Romulans.
And wait a
they're
second.
The first. They're not just that. They're the first Romulan. So it's like the first woman, the first black, the first this, the first that. Everything they do has to be predicated on the same scenario.
Greg, do you recognize a very stupid thing? We are constantly talking about the Kobayashi Maru test. Even in this new Star Trek, in Jar Jar Abrams' Trek, why do they call it Kobayashi Maru test when Spock invented it in this version? Shouldn't it be called the Spock test?
Yeah.
And even Picard changes the test. Then it has to be called Kobayashi Maru Picard test.
Well, you know what Maru stands for in Japanese shipping. Maru meant civilian vessel.
Oh, okay.
So just for a little background, if you had the Yamato or whatever warship, but if it was a civilian warship, it would be the Yamato Maru.
Yeah, but normally,
just a little background. That indicates a civilian vessel, and we see a civilian vessel in distress.
Yeah, and by the way, normally when you name a test after somebody, no, when you have a test like that, you name it after the inventor. So I always thought Kobayashi Maru was the guy who invented this test.
It could be.
And that's why it's called Kobayashi Maru test, like you would call the so and so test and the so and so test.
It's
here.
a test of yourself. It's
Yeah.
a test of your
The
ability to
milkworm,
handle defeat.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
you know, if you're, this is from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and we were talking about Kirk confronting death. He never really lost all through the original series and the first movie. He never really lost anybody special. It was always a red shirt. Now this time he was going to lose Spock, and that was the thing. Can Kirk deal with losing somebody special?
yes, and he not
He was also confronting age.
the themes of the movie Star Trek 2 is just it's just awesome. How this goes through the whole plot. It's you have all the in the whole story you have these themes of age, of losing somebody you love, and how to
dealing with it. How do you deal with it?
How you
and
deal
also
with,
to triumph despite that.
Yeah, how do you deal with a situation which can't be solved? It's really it's
the
so
no-win scenario, as they call it.
It's a so well constructed script, really. It
was beautiful. It's beautiful. It'll echo through time like Mozart.
Yeah, a real classic. And yeah, cool.
Okay, so I need to go on with my review of Picard. 7 of 9. She has no crew on her ship because she only has a hologram, because and a discrimination about her prosthetic on her face from the Borg. And even the first time they show her, the very first words of dialogue in the entire series this year are people, oh, you're an ugly, person because of your implants, which is stupid, because it's people who are beaming on board to steal stuff. And of course she murders them or defends her ship. And of course, later on, she doesn't have any implants at all through the rest of the series, because they switch to an alternate timeline, because Q, it wasn't this convenient, because they suddenly find 7 of 9, for instance, is the president of the entire confederation. It's not the Federation, it's the Confederation. And Picard has wiped out the Borg. Even though the Confederation is just humanity and doesn't include any of these other species, somehow, why are we so much more powerful when it's just humans who, and if you've noticed, they chant, go, 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 go. They're really stupid. And it's their version of what conservatives are like, because this is all a liberal fantasy.
Yeah, it's a Trump rally, something like that.
Yes, it's a Trump rally as they see it, and this is all an anti-Trump. I don't know what you would call it, but
propaganda.
Propaganda, yes, and that's what it's all about. When they of course have to come back to, because they are in this alternate reality, the original reality has been destroyed. As we all know, World War III starts in February of 22, and it starts in Europe because of a German chancellor who had power for 20 years, and so they have to come back to the early 21st century and stop Merkel from gaining power in Germany.
Yeah, that would be great.
But if they can stop, and by coming back to our time in the 21st century, they save a lot of money on having sets and stuff.
Yeah, and they come back to election year 2024.
Yes, they do.
And they even say something like, in the last episode, the one I watched today, they even say that the Earth has this is facing an ecological catastrophe, which of course
caused by the Germans again.
Yeah,
it's y'all's reliance on Russian oil.
Of course, and even the Borg Queen says that She says that as if she would care normally.
If
She-
only they had sanctioned Germany.
No, but she mentions the ecological
Right?
category.
Why does the Borg Queen care about Earth's ecology?
Yeah, yeah, but they mean, of course, CO2 and this crap and global warming and whatsoever.
Which they're making up.
Yeah, which is just made up. And also, they mention in this episode that somebody gets to power who is
Well, look, a word about climate change. A few centuries ago, we had an ice age. A few centuries from now, we're going to have different climate. The climate keeps constantly changing. It's not caused by man. It's caused by many other factors.
yeah, and for sure not by CO2, because CO2 it has a proportion.
If anything, it has a positive impact.
Yeah, it is in the atmosphere 0.003% or something like
And
that.
that's what plants use to breathe. They
Yeah.
breathe CO2. We need the CO2.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that is
And
all.
they produce oxygen, which we need. It's a
Yeah.
synergistic effect.
So it has the same percentage, by the way, in the atmosphere, CO2, like the percentage of deaths from corona, 0.003 or something like that. So this is the same
I'm
thing.
not going to touch that.
No, corona fraud. They even use the same numbers. What damn it! They don't come up with something original or new. Even with their frauds, they are not original. It's really crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. So sorry for the interruption again, Greg.
Okay, so there were beautiful sets, poor writing, bad direction, acting was ridiculously bad.
But didn't you like the return to see Guinan again?
Oh, Guinan acted nothing like Guinan from the series.
In Front Street 10. Yeah, she lives. She works in here. Her bar is in Front Street 10, so 10 Front.
And she chooses to age, and so does Q, which is very convenient.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's also convenient that they're able to come back to modern times so that they don't have to pay for any advanced set.
She chooses to age and put on some muscles. Don't forget that. She now looks like really threatening.
Okay, I like the captain from last year smoking a cigar on the bridge. So I like that. And I liked some of the sets. You know, if they had good writing, they would have been good.
But they have. But didn't you?
Q saves Picard and the rest from the Borg, and sends them all in. Well, they end up going back in time.
Yeah, to the year 2024.
Yeah, or 2020. 01 to stop Merkel. Depends on which version you saw.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, they end up. Some of them get arrested by immigration.
Yeah.
In a really stupid scene. Now, remember when they go to rescue the captain, what's his face, with the cigar? He's been arrested supposedly for being a migrant, but they can't just beam him out. So what do? They attack the bus and they release all of the criminals. Now, wouldn't that affect the timeline?
Do you think so?
I think they would. But they went a long 20-minute stretch where they talked about, oh, we can't affect the timeline. And then they do all this stuff, including the same captain beams stuff right in front of the doctor because Picard hits his head. How did you like how Q and Data ends up running Picard down with a car?
Yeah, you mean Data's ancestor?
Yes, Data's ancestor. Doctor. Which they make into a bad father, and his daughter hates him. He's in his mid-70s. Why does he have a teenage daughter? Why does
Yeah, and
everybody have a teenage
hey,
daughter who
didn't
hates
you
them?
get that?
Is that normal?
He cloned her.
Do
He's-
teenage daughters all hate their fathers? Is that normal?
Yeah, and don't
No,
forget,
it's not.
don't
It
forget,
doesn't
it
seem
is
right.
not his daughter. It's a clone from his daughter.
Yeah,
Fifth
it's still
clone
his
or
daughter.
something.
He raised her as his daughter, and she seems to love him until she finds out, oh, he cloned her, and now she hates him, and she runs off.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though he spent his whole life trying to fix her genetic anomaly.
Yeah,
It's just
and
I
don't
don't.
forget,
That's not how a daughter acts. I don't believe it.
It is this Soji woman here from the first season, which also put on some kilograms. Like Guinan, she became a little bit blown or fatter, or what you want to call it. For some reason, I've no idea what is
Did you
going
notice
on.
how they brought back Dr. Bashir from what was it, Star Trek Deep Space Nine?
Deep Space
And he's
Nine.
like, do you notice that when Picard is he has that therapist? That's Dr. Bashir. I recognized him, and
No,
he ends up.
I think no. It is not. It was not Dr. Bashir. It
Well, who
was
was it?
somebody who just looked like him.
It
was
looked
not,
it's an exact replica then.
no,
That was Dr. Bashir.
no,
They
because
brought him in.
no, Dr. Bashir is one of my favorite characters from DS9.
Well, he
and
wasn't the character of Bashir. He was supposed
Here-
to be his
the
father,
silent here.
but it was still Bashir.
Here,
It's the
Kurt-
actor who
Kurt-
played Bashir.
Here, no, it is not the actor who played Bashir. It's the actor. It's the silent therapist. Here, Köter from Battlestar
The
Galactica.
Cylon therapist?
Yeah,
That's what Coder is saying too.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
But I can't
Köter.
be wrong.
No, you are wrong, because here are two Germans even who now we have double plus right, like Orwell.
But
would say.
it looked like Bashir. Anyway, the
Yeah,
point,
yeah, because he had a suit on from DS9.
he looked like Bashir. Maybe I'm wrong, and
Yeah,
maybe you're right.
Yeah, they look
The
a little
Cylon
bit,
went, yeah.
they look a little bit alike. I got that back then when I watched Battlestar Galactica.
I was
because-
allowing for like 30 years of aging,
Yeah, and the thing is, of
and
course,
I
these
had
are
a buzz.
these are the member
I
berries.
didn't want to watch Picard, so I had to get a
Yeah.
little drunk to watch it.
Yeah, so these are the member berries that they throw in, like getting a.
They were
suit from-
delicious member berries. Now they're no good. I'm
Yeah.
spitting them out.
Yeah, and taking somebody who looks a little bit like Bashir and putting him in a DS9 uniform that people think this is Bashir, and yeah, things like that. As I said, hey, they had so much faith in this season
Do,
that
do you remember what the whole point of that was? Was that his father was a bad guy. So once again, he had daddy issues. He's wrapped up in his mommy and his daddy, and his daddy was bad.
No, they subverted our expectations with that, because his daddy turned out to be just trying to save his mom. Because
But he hated him. Remember?
he hated him till he figured out that his mom was really crazy.
Yeah, but he
So-
spent his whole life, 90 years, hating him.
Yeah, because of course they never talked about that in 90 years.
That's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, and he was not
You
there.
don't talk to your dad?
So he has just his memories, but it seems like he was not there.
I didn't hate my mom or my dad. They were
rest of
good
the
people.
time.
They were
So he-
flawed and
so he
imperfect.
he never figured out his whole life that his mom went to went to an insane asylum or whatever because she was crazy. So how does that make any sense?
And remember, Q loses his power.
Yeah, and as I said, they had so much faith in this season that they dropped the season 3 trailer mid-season. This has never happened before again. We have another thing that never happened before. You're watching a series and then you get a trailer advertisement for the next season in the middle of the actual season.
So there's going to be a season 3? I missed that.
Yes, they dropped a trailer for season 3 after episode 6 in the middle of this season. And this trailer, by the way, shows only the TNG characters. So they're saying this crap you are watching right now, these annoying characters, we don't advertise with them for the next season. We just use the TNG characters, which all are coming back, besides of Wesley Crusher. The only guy they didn't bring back is the guy who is making here this after shows for Picard and
right.
Discovery and so on.
Right.
Yeah,
I saw where they were bringing. Why are they bringing everybody back?
because this season sucks so hard. I think there's nobody besides us is watching.
Who's seen it?
Yeah,
Kat didn't see it.
yeah. And
I'm glad she didn't have to watch it. It was a nightmare.
I think when they saw here with their ratings, they saw, oh my God, there's only in whole Europe one audience member left. This
Cub.
this lone wolf Cub. Before we lose him,
And Coder. Don't forget Coder. He's seen it.
yeah, maybe, who knows? Before we lose that one, let's drop quick and TNG trailer in there that this one stays with us.
You think they'll bring it all back to our time period again to save money?
I have no idea, and I don't care.
Coder says he was distracted. Oh no.
Yeah, and so yeah, and Q is really he loses his powers, but little bit power he seems to have, but we don't get exactly. We have still no clue what is this all is about. We have still no idea what is going on with Q and why they're in the past and what the hell is going to change. And also, don't forget Picard's ancestor here, the girl, the most important girl on this planet, which for some reason has to go on the to Europe here to Europe mission, the planet Europe here, the moon from.
Is that right? Europa mission.
Europa mission, and there
Is that a satellite of Jupiter or something?
Yeah, it is, and there she is going to discover something, which is going to make the thing that
It's German humor, isn't it?
the thing that that's
It's German humor. He's going to discover it, and it'll change the world.
Yeah, no, the thing that she is discovering there, the life form or whatever she's discovering on Europa, this is going to make all the work of Sung irrelevant or something like that, and that's why Q gets data here, Sung, whatever, to stop her from doing that. I have no clue why this is going to be this way. But it is like it is, as I said. Oh, don't forget the Borg is now in this Charati character. They have fusions or whatever, and the Borg is going rogue now. Something like that in the here in our century. And
oh yeah, they brought her back.
Yeah, and that's kind of the main.
And
plot
she melded with that terrible character. The girl who can't act.
Yeah, the drummer from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, she's so terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know how. Every time she's in a scene, I don't believe that it's like just I don't know, a friend of yours from school trying to do a play.
Yeah. Oh my God, it is so bad. So it looks like now the main plot kind of becomes they have to stop the Borg to go
Which
rogue.
they brought.
Which they brought. So they are fabricating, or what you call it, making the plot on their. They are making the story with that they are even there in the first place. It is like with Discovery, where here Mighty Spock here the Almighty Spock here the sister here where she takes this red jumpsuit here, time jumpsuit, whatever, to kickstart, goes into the past to kickstart the second season. Because the second season is just about this red lights and so on, which she made herself by going to the past. So she
Right.
yeah, the only reason the plot exists for season 2 is because here the incredible Mighty Spock sister, whatever, takes this jumpsuit, red jumpsuit, goes into the past, and now that you can see these lights.
Man, I need one of those time jumping jumpsuits.
Yeah,
So does Cat. And you.
and this time again, they go into the past, bring the Borg Queen with them, and now they have to stop her.
Why did she get so close to the Borg Queen? It was totally unnecessary. She had a shotgun she could shoot from a distance, and then after she shot her, she walked over and let her touch her. It's just unbelievable. Every bit of writing on this show is so contrived and unbelievable.
Yeah, and
it makes me sad.
Why
I'd much rather be watching a Bigfoot movie.
Yeah, and why
Bigfoot's gonna get you, Cub.
Why leaving her alone with even
Bigfoot always eats the one who doesn't believe first.
Yeah, and leaving her alone with the Borg Queen. That
was stupid. But
leaving nobody behind.
Everything they do is stupid.
Yeah, really, it doesn't make any sense. And also,
no,
we have again the Borg Queen. She is kind of fascinated from this horrible character.
Yeah,
which is, by the way, again, something special. She says that even, oh, you're unique. You are in every version, every alternate reality. You are alone, something like that.
Yes, which I find very hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because she's the stupidest character I've ever seen.
Yeah, but she's still a woman.
She acts like a child. At the beginning of the series, when they're confronting the Borg, she ducks under the railing. She acts like a child.
And also, she is not alone. The only reason she is alone is because she has killed her husband in the last season.
That's right.
And they are pretending that she is alone in every reality. Did she kill in every reality her husband or what?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but if you are alone because you kill the people who are with you, then that's not something special. Then you are just a horrible person.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they make it, this sad character. She's alone. Because she kills everybody. Yeah, then she's alone. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's something like Stalin. He was also alone because he killed everybody and deported them and so on. That's the reason why he was alone. And when he died in his room, nobody went in there.
He was a bad guy. I mean, his wife committed suicide.
Yeah, but I say that's the same thing. You could say, Stalin, this poor guy.
I was actually a history major at the University of Houston, so I could give dissertations, but I don't. Yeah,
but Greg, you could also say, Stalin, he's this pure alone guy who lived kind of alone in his life, and when you don't mention that he killed everybody around him and deported them, and they were all afraid of him and so on. And
you're right.
Yeah, but this Sharati character, like Stalin, a misunderstood genius. Yeah, a sad, alone character. Yeah. Yeah, Picard. Oh, so yeah, anything to say about Picard more?
No, I'm done. And that was the last thing on our list, other than, I don't know, movie trailers, if anybody saw them.
Yeah, have you watched some? You can tell us about them. Did you like any?
I watched Doctor Strange, Stranger Things, Buzz Lightyear. I don't know.
Okay, Doctor Strange.
Did you get a chance to watch any, Cat? Cat?
Oh, maybe she is.
Oops. I accidentally hit the mute button. I got to watch the Sonic 2 trailer. Was all I got to watch that, and I
Okay,
watched.
what did you think of that?
It doesn't look very interesting to me. I didn't even watch the first Sonic movie. I probably wouldn't even waste my time with it.
Hey, I watched Sonic 2. I saw the movie.
But did
And-
you like it?
Yeah, I'm not a Sonic fan. I also couldn't stand the first one, but I could stand the part of Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is the only entertaining part in both movies. In this one, he has an even bigger part than in the last one, which I liked. I liked his parts, but everything surrounding him with Sonic and so on was awful. Like in the
Yeah,
first.
I'd agree with that. I saw the first one, saw the trailer to the second one. I don't know. It's just a video game movie, and it seems okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It's just okay.
Yeah, as I said, and the only positive is it is not Disney, and it is successful. The second one is also very successful, and I like Jim Carrey. I like it that he has he plays in a movie which is a success, because Jim Carrey is one of the actors with spine, which you don't have so many from these days. He stands for his here what he
His belief,
yeah, he stands for for his morals and so on. These things,
yeah, it's rare.
yeah, this is so rare nowadays, and that's the reason why the mainstream is completely against him the whole time.
Yeah, he won't last long.
No, he said this is his last movie.
Well, there you
And-
go. See?
But I hope it's not, because it is a success, and
Well, if they
probably-
offer him enough money, he might come back.
yeah, and I'm going to watch Sonic 3, of course, when he is again in it, because as I said, it's just because of Jim Carrey. He's so entertaining, and you see in the movie he has really fun with his role. He overacts the hell out of it, which fits for this character, which is mad scientist.
Okay, I watched Doctor Strange. It looked like a boring MCU, flick that I wasn't interested in, but maybe okay. Better
Hey,
than Thor:
do you-
Love and Thunder or
Do you mean
these other
what?
things.
Do
Huh?
you mean Super Wanda and with her guest star Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably what it's going to be.
She
I'm not
is
really
the
a
main-
comic book guy.
Did you see the last movie poster for Doctor Strange? The newest movie poster? She is front and center. He's in the background on this poster.
Wow.
Did you see that?
Yes.
It calls Doctor Strange, but she's the main. She's and like with Thor. Here, our female Thor whatsoever.
Well, they've
she-
turned Thor into some sort of a wimp, and he's
Yeah.
searching for himself once again. And now female Thor is going to take over. There's going to be female Iron Man and female Thor. There's a She-Hulk. So
And
when
don't forget,
Cub
in
calls
Doctor
it the
Strange, in Doc-
MCU, that's what he means. It's all going to be
Yeah.
female
we have-
replacement.
didn't you get a glimpse in Doctor Strange trailer of the female Captain America? Yeah.
I didn't see that. No.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes, here Super
That's a
Chavez.
terrible idea.
Super
Why would anybody
Chavez,
do that?
Yeah, I think she's called Super Chavez or something like that.
Oh, I
She's
thought
Cap-
you meant. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Is she really the new Captain America, quote unquote?
Yes, she is Captain America from another alternate reality. She's a
Pardon my
female
French,
version.
but Captain America is a guy. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
I was watching the series in the 70s. It was a guy. It should be still
they
a
call
guy.
her Super Chavez or something like that in that reality, but she is the female version of Captain America.
Hey, you
That's
notice
irritating.
what was the series where where they had instead of a Captain America they made the female Captain
Agent,
Britain.
Yeah, Agent Carter became Captain
Yeah,
America.
so they're gonna go with that direction.
No,
Apparently, they're gonna replace all the guys with women,
yeah.
and the women I know don't want to see all the guys replaced.
Yeah,
No.
but this would be, we could wish they would do that. Then at least we had an adult female Captain America. But now we get a teenager. Captain
She's a
America.
freaking teenager or something, like
Yes,
Spider
yeah,
Boy.
like Miss Marvel. Yeah,
It's so sickening. I'm tired of teenagers and everything, you know. God, you know, they did, when I was a teenager, they didn't have any of them. But now, as I've grown older, it's nothing but. It's like Spider-Man. It's always a freaking teenager. He's always in high school. And I'm tired of it. It's Spider-Boy. Yeah, come on, grow up, man.
yeah, it's annoying. These are even the good ones, where at least Sony is a little bit involved in. So you don't have this ultra Marvel SJW woke crap all over this thing.
Okay, the very last thing I have is Buzz Lightyear movie trailer. Did anybody see that? It looks like they go back to before he got taken away and he's in a battle and stuff. It looks like it might even be interesting.
Yeah, I saw the first trailer. I didn't see the second one.
I saw one. I don't know
I've seen the
if it's
trailer.
first or second.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
so what do y'all think?
Yeah,
It's our last subject.
Tell us about the trailer.
He goes through a time jump or something. He comes back and it's 60 years later, and he has to battle alien ship sitting over Earth.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that Pixar movies go now directly to streaming or something like that?
I did not hear it. What did you think about it, Kat?
I thought it kind of looked cute. I always did like those movies, so I would watch it probably.
Yeah, I kind of liked it too. So I don't know. It's just a trailer, but it looked better than any of the other stuff I'd seen by him.
Yeah,
It looked
I can believe
interesting.
that.
I mean, it's probably gonna suck, but it looked interesting.
Right.
His boss was some black girl who was ordering him around, and then he comes back and it's like her granddaughter's in charge and she's making fun of him too. But other than that, it looks like it might be fun.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to watch it, but with these new Pixar movies, I'm really.
If you let their politics bother you, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I missed even the last ones here.
You didn't watch anything. You got drunk yesterday. Oh my God.
No, I watched everything today, by the way.
Right.
So, yeah.
And you forgot it.
Yeah.
You got a hangover. It's all right, man. I'm glad you went to the spring fling or whatever they call it.
Yeah. I was drinking like in old times, making party on my own. Also,
and
like
what did you drink?
Times.
What's your favorite drink so our listeners can hear?
I normally drink beer mixed with cola, but
beer with cola.
Yeah, but because I met so many people, they had other drinks. These short.
The girls were spiking your drinks, weren't they?
Maybe
they were trying to get you into bed.
I don't know. But
I do.
But I was kind of making party on my own again because I was the only unvaccinated guy in the whole town or something like that.
Probably in all of Europe.
Yeah, and I had this mask T-shirt on here with the sheep with the masks on, so everybody directly got that I'm from the other side. Yeah, from of this battle.
The alternate reality.
Yeah, alternate reality, kind of, and it was strange because I had the feeling that I was the only guy in town because I was in many bars, not just in one. I was in 3 or 4, or don't know, and I was always the only person that never had worn a mask, never got been tested, and was unvaccinated.
Wow.
I even talked I even met some friends from back then, where I wished that I had the hope that they are not from on the other side of this of this battle.
But you were disappointed.
Everybody turned out to be on the other side. Everybody, the first thing, and I didn't ask, by the way. The first thing they told me, yeah, we got vaccinated, but just 2 times or 3 times or
I
whatever.
never mention whether I'm vaccinated or not. You live in a very weird world.
Yeah,
I've never once had anybody mention whether they're vaccinated or not. Have you, Kat?
Yeah, I have a few people.
But not most people. I mean, it's not the first thing that comes up.
It's the first thing every time with everybody.
I've never had anybody mention it unless
so
I
weird.
specifically ask them.
Yeah, and this is, as I said, it seemed like I was the only, because
you're the O'Mega man.
Yeah, the Omicron man.
Omicron.
Yeah, and it is. I have, of course, there are in my city here, there are other people who are not vaccinated, because I know them from the walks that we make, but from the protests. But these people were not out yesterday.
Have you ever seen the O'Mega Man with Charlton Heston, Kat?
I just recently watched it on HBO.
What did you think of it?
I liked it because it's basically another version of the Last Man on Earth, and then that next version is I Am Legend, which I didn't like as well, but I liked the O'Mega Man. It was good.
I thought it was one of the best movies by Charlton Heston. He had Planet of the Apes, the O'Mega Man, and Soylent Green, and those 3 movies.
Recently watched the Planet of the Apes movies.
If you watch those 3 movies from about a 4-year time span, they were some of the best movies ever made, and they were made during that time span, and they couldn't be made before that time span, and they couldn't be made after that time span, and they really needed Charlton Heston, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was the subject from one of our first streams. We made a whole stream about that.
That's true. We made a whole stream. You can go back and watch it.
Okay. Cool.
The O'Mega stream.
The O'Mega stream.
Yeah.
And you were part of this great stream, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate being here.
Yeah, that was.
I thought it was ironic that Jez had a bad microphone.
Yeah.
Because I've had bad microphones and Kat's had bad microphones. This time he was stuck with a bad microphone.
Yeah.
It was really good to have him here, though.
Yeah.
But he gets a better microphone when he comes over a little more often. First time
when he visits you,
no,
why don't you ship him a good German microphone from Germany?
First time here, the people have to get bad microphones on German streams, and then when they qualify, then they get a better one.
The better one. There you go.
Yeah.
We are not using expensive microphones, but ours work.
When they become less British,
because they're American. USA.
Yeah.
USA.
Yeah. When they become less British, then they get a good microphone.
Yeah, we're not British. So there you go.
Yeah, so I would say we finished this one.
We're done.
Gets really bad. So see you next time. I think in 2 months again.
Yeah, early July, I think.
Cool. Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, we won't make a date permanent because.
No, if we do that, something will go wrong.
Because in this moment, I'm working on 30 reviews simultaneously.
Right.
And
we're all proud of you, Cub.
No, I mean that I already rewrote all the scripts in this last weeks, and I just have a few scripts to go, and I also recorded all the audio I need for the next 30 reviews.
Well, I hope Kat makes a movie review or something. I'm rooting for her. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, that will be fine. And I'm actually in this moment editing speed for next review is going to be Runaway Train, which is already finished
That'll be good.
on Wednesday. But after that, we get speed, and this is the one I'm actually editing right now, because I expanded on the part where Jan de Bond part where I talk about his movies, because it's not just a speed review, it's also a retrospective on this director, and this time a more in-depth retrospective than the last version. So yeah, so much for that. So I would say goodbye, and I'm finishing it.
Okay.